3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody, and welcome to ReelTok episode 128. I am with my lovely, beautiful, magnificent co-workers, Tyler and George. Seth, not feeling well today. Under the weather. Woke up just feeling like absolute ass. So I hope he gets better. I hope he's able to make it through the day and just starts feeling better. But we have a fun show today for some people and a sad show for others. It depends where you're at with the MCU right now. We will be talking Captain America Brave New World this week will be the big review. We also have The Gorge starring Anya Taylor-Joy and Miles Teller. That is on Apple TV Plus. We'll talk some movie news, some trailers, and we'll just have a good banter, I'm sure, throughout the episode. But
tough double feature.
Hey, don't reveal that just yet. You have no clue. It could be the best double feature we've ever done in ReelTok. And this is Captain America Gorge. It's the next Barbenheimer.
Brave New Gorge.
Brave New Gorge. So thank you to all our patrons. We really appreciate it. Shout out to our executive producers, Stefan Johnson, Devin Willett, and Alex Kephart. Thank you, fellas, for keeping us sane. As you can tell, we're absolutely losing it having to review these movies. But thank you all for your support on the Patreon. Thank you, everyone, for coming here and watching this episode or listening. Please subscribe to YouTube, subscribe on the Spotify, Apple, check out the Patreon. We do have a lot of good merch. I'm wearing nice like ReelTok Podcast. If you're still an MCU believer like I am, you can cop the MCU ReelTok Podcast shirt. We have mugs, we have hats, we've got a lot of good stuff.
So, you know, it's funny. Brave New World didn't even have that logo,
dude. Yes, but shut up. We'll talk it. No, absurd, by the way. Absurd.
Crazy.
Yeah, but just thank you all for watching and being Patreon members if you are. Thank you for being general listeners. We really, really appreciate it. Week in, week out. We'll obviously start with how are we doing? What have we been watching? Mr. Tyler, how have you been?
I've been good. I was traveling this week to Western Pennsylvania. I was all over the place from all the way up north to Erie, Pennsylvania, right on the border of Canada, which shout out USA beating Team Canada, which I know you guys aren't hockey fans. I don't know if you saw any of the clips. That game was literally
some of it.
That game was literally a war. I don't know. Watch 3 fights in the first 9 seconds. It was the most unreal.
I'll watch USA versus Canada. Not a general hockey normally, but a USA versus Canada. You gotta throw on the patriotic hat for a little.
Yeah. The memes were incredible, because obviously the NBA and NHL All-Star games are both going on. I'd be like, it was like a clip of NBA All-Star game. It shows like Chris Paul and Wembanyama finding like the loophole of like just throwing the ball towards the hoop, not even trying to make it. Then it shows USA and Canada literally beating each other to a bloody pulp for an exhibition All-Star game. Awesome
As a guy who did not watch All-Star Weekend, I watched the dunk contest a little because you got to check out Mac McClung. Just absolute featured television. Need to watch it. But as a guy who doesn't watch the skills challenge, what's the point of shooting the basketball quickly? Is it just speed? Is that all it is? So
basically, they each got like 3 or 5 balls in the rack, and it was you can move on from that rack once you make it, or you shoot all the balls. So basically, they're like, rather than trying to take time to make it, let's just throw all 5 balls, and they destroyed the record, and then they got disqualified. Like the NBA was like pissed. Like they wanted they were like trying to interview them. Like they were just trying to have fun with it, but like they weren't even allowing like interviews for them to be televised. Like NBA was pissed. Meanwhile, NHL clearly figured out, because I think every sport right now is struggling with All-Star Weekend. I think baseball is probably the only one that people like still regularly like if you're a fan of
baseball kind of matters, right? It's what determines home field, right? NL or AL? Is that still the case or no?
I think so. I know it used to be, which I always thought was cool, but yeah, I think they're all struggling to try and figure out how to make a good All-Star game. And I really think hockey figured it out by just saying, instead of just having like a best of this versus best of that, just separate them based on all the nationalities of countries and have a USA, Canada, Sweden, Finland 4-team round robin. And, anytime people are getting patriotic for the country, it becomes war out there. So good stuff. If Canada wins tomorrow. So today, when people are listening to this, then they'll be rematching in the championship for this, which will be even more fireworks. So should be electric. But yeah, I was in Erie, Pennsylvania. I was in all over Western Pennsylvania. I was in Pittsburgh area. Pittsburgh Airport is unreal. It's like 20 years ago, you would have looked at that airport and been like, this is a really crusty, outdated airport. And then it's 20 years later. Like I was like, this is the biggest dumpster fire I've ever been to for an airport. But got to Pittsburgh on Sunday. My flight was delayed, so I missed like the first quarter of the Super Bowl. Super Bowl ended up being quite lame anyways. But, oh well. My flight landed and it was in one piece, so really nothing I can complain about there. But yeah, I spent the week in Pittsburgh. It was the back half of the week I was in more of the mountain areas, which was very snowy. So it was nice and fun. Driving wasn't the best, but yeah, it was a fine week of travel. Got back really, really late Thursday night. So then Valentine's Day, we had just like a nice lazy day. We got sushi and watched some Love is Blind, Minneapolis. We painted. I'm trying to think what else. And then Riley today's having like a Galentine's Day where she's having like 8 of her girlfriends come over and she's like decorated the house like crazy, made a bunch of mixed drinks and like went all out, like prepping like Family Feud games and all kinds of stuff. So she's been like dedicated to prepping this Galentine's Day for weeks. So it should be a fun night for them. I'll probably just be like my letterbox numbers today will probably be pretty generational because I'm just gonna be locked in my room watching movies.
I was gonna say you just go lock yourself in your room.
Pretty much, yeah. I don't fit the criteria of a gal, so I won't be there. But yeah, so should be a good day. And then yeah, it's overall a solid week. What have I been watching? I have been watching. So I watched The King's Speech on the flight to Pittsburgh, and I thought the movie was pretty ass. Trying to knock off some Best Picture winners just to, at least have a better concept of like Best Picture winners and trying to be able to rank them and consider what's good, what's bad. King's Speech, I gave 2.5. Thought it was incredibly fine. And Colin Farrell, I really love him, but I thought his performance was incredibly fine. But this movie, obviously winning over The Social Network, is very silly. But just like a very boring, bland movie to win Best Picture, which is kind of how you can categorize probably a lot of movies that won Best Picture. But then I watched The Insider. I was late because you guys reviewed on Patreon, but I wasn't able to get around to it until I was on work travel. I really liked it. I had a great time with it. I think the one scene with like the paint melting is like maybe the coolest scene Michael Mann's ever done. And Russell Crowe and Al Pacino are just, they're all timers. So seeing them go toe to toe is awesome. Watch Frankenstein from 1931. I want to start getting into some of the Universal monster movies a little more. Frankenstein I thought was pretty good. Didn't love it as much as I was hoping for, and didn't go as deep into Frankenstein lore as I was hoping for. But all these Universal monster movies are like a hair over an hour long, so you can only expect so much. But fun movie, cool movie. Watch Vox Lux, which is, I don't know if this is his debut, but it's the other big movie Brady Corbet has done.
Did not Natalie Portman.
Yeah, did not like this. I gave it a 2.5 star. Definitely like a big shock value movie with a lot of very shocking scenes. But I put this in my letterbox review. The three things that were exactly the same as The Brutalist and Vox Lux. One, well, it's just about like the American dream pulling back the sinister side. But 2, lead actress doesn't show up until halfway through the movie. So Felicity Jones, Natalie Portman, both are ghosts for the first half of their movies, and they just show up. And then 3, Rafie Cassidy, the girl who plays the niece in The Brutalist. Yeah, she plays 2 different roles in both movies. There's a time jump, and then they just cast her as the younger version of like the daughter or the niece of who her growing up would end up being. So Brady Corbet and her, like, she's got a good deal there. So she's always going to be getting 2 roles in every one of his movies. But yeah, pretty. So it's kind of a movie's about Natalie Portman, who becomes like a global pop star sensation after a school shooting at her school. And she's like the only survivor. And again, like The Brutalist is very just on the nose imagery and symbolism. Like she gets shot in the throat, and like the bullet's not able to leave her throat because like if it dislodges something with like her spine or something. So clearly just very on the nose symbolism, like a school shooting, bullet gets shot in the throat, and like she kind of exploits the school shooting to like become popular and famous. So it's like kind of on the nose there. But yeah, I mean, there's multiple shootings in this movie that are just very graphic and very shocking that I just wasn't a big fan of this one. Watch The 688 because again, I'm trying to watch every single movie that's nominated for any Best Picture or any Oscars this year, and this was nominated for Best Original Song. Which this movie was actually fine. Like, I give it a 2-star because there's like a romance in it that's just actually like one of the worst, like most corny things ever. But Diane Warren gets nominated again for Best Original Song here. I thought Kerry Washington is awesome, and the story I think is really incredible. But the execution, pretty poor. Continue with the Universal Monster movies. I watched The Invisible Man from 1933. This one was awesome. This is like one of the great movies you can look back to from about 100 years ago and be like, I have no clue how they made this shit without computers. Like nowadays you get like, not just computers, but you get, CGI, VFX, all this kind of crazy stuff, but even just without even computers, period. I don't know how they're putting this stuff together. Crazy that they're able to pull this off. So just kind of like a miracle of a movie. I liked it more than Frankenstein. And so I think like Bride of Frankenstein, Wolfman, some other Universal Monster movies will be up next. Then Flight Home, I watched Inside Man, which is a Spike Lee movie that I don't know if any of you on the pod have seen. Doesn't look like it. Alex Coleman has, but that's about it. But it has Denzel Washington, has Jodie Foster, Christopher Plummer, Willem Dafoe. So fun cast, and it's a heist movie, and I feel like it's kind of hard to make a heist movie not good, and this one is definitely good, but it's way more mysterious and layered than I expected it to be. I was kind of turning it on, expecting it to be like The Town, Den of Thieves, Heat type thing, where it's just like, a lot of big shoot ups, and it's just like, oh, easy movie to watch in the plane, popcorn movie, let's have fun. But I don't know really why I was expecting that at Spike Lee. It's a lot more nuanced and layered than that. A lot of this is much more like a mental chess game between Denzel Washington and these people robbing the bank, with a lot of twists and turns that we really don't really see where it ends up going. So I recommend it. I liked it. And then finally, Chinatown. I thought Chinatown was awesome. I mean, it goes without saying, Roman Polanski is just like a complete loser that is just the scum of the earth, but he makes some damn good movies. Jack Nicholson. I mean, I don't know. Jack Nicholson's a guy where anytime I watch a movie of his, I'm like, oh yeah, that's the best performance he's ever given. It's just whatever the most recent one is, but this is up there. This is incredible stuff. And the finale of this is great, but it's a neo-noir mystery. You just get soaked in the scenery of Los Angeles and the crime and corruption of, which it kind of felt a little timely because a lot of this movie is basically about how these rich people are exploiting the water of LA, and LA is in a drought, and all these rich people are kind of like hoarding the water and profiting off of it. So, with the latest wildfires where you hear stuff where it's like, oh, they didn't have any water to fight the fires with. It makes you think. Probably a lot of the same exact greed and corruption going on today still. And then the two movies we'll be reviewing in length today. We got Captain America: Brave New World and The Gorge. So I did the Brave New Gorge yesterday. And yeah, we'll get into those, but that's what I've been watching.
Oh yeah, George, what have you been watching?
Brave New Gorge is killing me.
Yeah, it's bigger than Oppenheimer.
Yeah, it's a crazy double feature. No, I'm good.
Tyler, work your whatever it's called, skills, Adobe skills, and make a Brave New Gorge poster for us real quick.
Will do. I'll get that done. Which, like, low key, I mean, we'll get into it, but like,
just put like Miles Teller's face on the Red Hulk.
If you go the Gorge into Captain America, like they kind of work as a double feature when you think about what the Gorge ends up being about, and then Captain America and Super Soldiers.
Sure. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
kinda. I'll give that to you, I guess.
People in the Gorge were just failed Captain America experiments.
Yeah, true.
Fair, real.
Nice spoiler. It's fine.
I wouldn't say spoiler.
I don't care about spoiling any of these movies. My week's been good. Victoria was in Miami last weekend for a bachelorette party, and then her aunt and uncle live in Boca, so she came immediately here after the bachelorette party, and I met her Wednesday night. So I've been in Florida for a couple days. I took off Thursday and Friday, which was nice, just to kind of, a little reset, get out of the cold weather in New York, enjoy the warm weather of Florida. Got burnt to shit. I walked a lot on Thursday shirtless. I was a tomato. I'm better now. You could see a little bit maybe red in my head and my face, but I was a tomato. It was bad. This was like the first time I was really in the heat with a buzzed head. So I didn't know I had to sunscreen my scalp as well. So that got really burned. That really hurt. I was not having a good time.
I've always put sunscreen on my head, like even like with, I'll say quote unquote hair. I'm balding. I've been balding since like 12, but I've always put sunscreen on my head. I feel like that's a common thing.
I never thought that was a problem. Like for some reason, I thought that like my head was just immune to the sun. I thought I was stronger than the sun, which apparently I'm not. So yeah, that was fun. There's the Delray Open going on right now, which is like 20 minutes away from us. So we went to see some tennis last night. Got to watch Davidovich Fokina against Matteo Arnaldi, two young studs. And then we got to watch a nice doubles match. So good tennis. Played a lot of tennis this week, which was nice also because freezing cold in New York, you either pay $200, $300 an hour to play indoors, or you just don't play. So I elect not to play and pay that much money unless I go back to Long Island. So got to play tennis Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, which was nice. And then we're leaving. We're heading home today after we record this podcast. So I'll be back in the cold. It's been snowing in New York. It's been snowing, so I'm going back
here as well last night.
Yeah, I'm not excited, man. I like being in like warm weather. It's so relaxing. It's so nice. Even I guess if you're like working in this area, it's nice. It's just you go out, you go for a nice walk up the beach, go for a swim, play some tennis outdoors. It's nice. It's supposed to snow like a lot apparently on Thursday this week in New York. So apparently we're gonna get like absolutely smothered. So we'll see if that holds true. But that's been my week, which has been good. Not a lot of movie watches, just because I've been on the go. Where did I leave off last? We obviously talked about The Insider. I think I talked about Dark of the Moon with you guys. So Jurassic Park 3. Sammy's propaganda worked. He was tweeting about it a lot. He was posting some.
We talked about it last week. Remember, I couldn't find it on Prime. I still haven't gotten around to it.
We did talk about it.
Still haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah, banger. It was fine. I forgot what I said last week, but I'm sure I said the same thing. It's fine. It's a good movie. Totally fine. Evil Dead Rise. Stop. You haven't even seen it.
Newest 90% of the time I say mid, I'm just saying things, man.
It's the newest George Carmi 5 out of 5, man. This movie, I've seen this movie now 5 times. It went from a 3.5 to a 3.5 to a 3.5 to a 4.5 to a 5. So it's getting better every time I watch it. And this latest time, man, I was like, everything was hitting. All of its beats were hitting. I love the apartment setting. It's so minimalist. It's so claustrophobic. It's so gross. I fucking love it. So gruesome, so gory. The cheese grater scene. I mean, it almost like I had to pause the movie and like catch my breath every time I see that cheese grater scene. It's the most disgusting, but it's like the coolest thing in the world because like they don't hold back. Like you see. Like her calf just gets sliced. It's gross. It's so disgusting. I mean, I've said this a lot. Alyssa Sutherland, she's so good. She's so fucking phenomenal. She's still my best supporting actress pick of 2023. Her and Rachel McAdams probably tied for that number 1 spot. But I love Alyssa Sutherland in this movie so much. She's so physical with her horror, I guess. It's so cool. It really is cool.
What am I forgetting? Rachel McAdams 2023.
Are you there?
Are you there, God? It's me, Mark.
Oh, okay. I was like, surely he's not talking about Multiverse of Madness.
No. Peak. I mean, she was fine in Multiverse of Madness too. Yeah, dude. I really liked Evil Dead Rise. I really loved Evil Dead Rise this time around. It really just hit all of its beats. It's so good, man. It's so good. I know a lot of people say like, oh, we like the OG Evil Dead trilogy where it's more of a horror comedy. I like Evil Dead 2013 and Evil Dead Rise. I like that vibe. I like that aesthetic more where it's like, it's a fucked up, haunting movie. It's still funny. There are funny moments, you're looking through the peephole and you just see Alyssa Sutherland, just demon infected, just smiling. Like it's funny. There are funny moments. But I love like this overly gory movie compared to, the original Sam Raimi trilogy. I love that original Sam Raimi trilogy. Nothing against that one, but I think I'm at a point where if you ask me best Evil Dead movie, I think I'm saying Evil Dead Rise. It's that good for me. I really like it. Watched this movie called Skate Kitchen. It intrigued me because I was kind of sifting through movies on Max, and I was like, oh, like I kind of want like a shorter movie. Like, what should I watch? So I put on Skate Kitchen. The synopsis of it just said the words Long Island, so I was like, I'm in. Lock me in. So it's about this girl who lives in Long Island, and she's kind of a loner, I guess. She doesn't really have a lot of friends. So she finds like these group of skater girls. She's a skater, by the way, obviously. She finds this group of skater girls in New York City, and she kind of befriends them. And the whole movie is just about like people living their lives, these girls living their lives day by day, just doing their skating stuff. They have boy drama. They have like inner skate gang drama. I don't know if you would call them like skate gangs, but it really was a great movie. The movie itself was, it's based, I don't know if it's based on like, if it's like a 1-for-1 like true story, or if it's mostly just like inspired by, but there is a real life group of women that skate called the Skate Kitchen. The movie itself features some of these women playing fictionalized versions of themselves. So it was really cool. I obviously love like the Long Island and the New York City backdrop. You see them skating through various neighborhoods, and it's very awesome. Jaden Smith is in it as well. He kind of plays like the opposing gang member, love interest of our main girl. But a good movie, good overall movie. It's a really carefree movie. It's got its moments where it feels really real. It is a little like, it could be a little cliched at times, which is kind of what holds back my rating. There is a particular like plot point with her mother that I don't really love. It just kind of feels very like forced into the narrative. But other than that, I really enjoy it. It's a very unpolished, just New York City vibes movie. So if you're looking for a quick hour and 45 minutes, it's a good one to throw on. I watched The Devil Wears Prada for the first time on my plane ride to Florida. One of those movies like I can't believe I've never seen, just because Victoria really likes it, and Victoria's got like a running list of movies that we should watch together when we're having trouble picking movies. And we were both surprised The Devil Wears Prada was not on that list, considering I've never seen it. But I liked it. I think Meryl Streep gives such like a badass performance. Like it's really like a side of Meryl Streep, and maybe I just haven't seen enough Meryl Streep movies, but I feel like I haven't seen her play like this like really like bitchy boss before. And it was cool. And then Anne Hathaway, Emily Blunt, Stanley Tucci, the whole cast is really fantastic. Whole movie is about, you got to sell your soul to succeed in the world. And I love that. Like that's the funniest thing in the world. They literally, they say that in the movie. They say it. They don't hold back. Who says? I think Stanley Tucci's character literally says like, got to sell your soul if you want to be successful. And I'm sitting on the plane. I'm like, why would you say that? Like, what? That's not something I want to hear right now. Don't do that to me. But yeah, good movie. Had a really good time with it. Another 3.5. And then, yeah, we'll talk about Captain America and The Gorge. So I'll reserve my thoughts for later. Cam.
Cut this. I blacked out for a second.
Yeah, I was going to say, what are you looking at?
Sorry, I blacked out just for a second. I am so sorry. Cut that 10-second pause, Tyler.
Probably
sorry.
Not gonna. But
don't cut it.
That's fair. If you hear a lull in the podcast, just shut up.
Kind of like the idea of everyone who is like on a walk or driving, they like check their phone like, did I just disconnect from Bluetooth?
Yeah, I love that idea. No, it's comment down below if you thought you just disconnected from the podcast. Well, Jesus Christ. All right. I'm doing well. It's been a good week. No complaints. Haven't watched a ton. We'll talk that, but yeah, overall the week's been good. Well, was it no, yeah, okay. So my house flooded this week.
Yeah, it was this week.
Okay, yeah, my house flooded. So I guess that sucked. Yeah, that wasn't very fun. So I take it back. Maybe the week wasn't the best, but had a lot of contractors come and give quotes. Hopefully insurance can help us with it. Yeah, my kitchen flooded. A hose came out of our washer. So not like a crazy amount of water, but like 30. I Googled how much the Walsh held, and it's like 30 to 45 gallons. So yeah, not a insignificant amount of water, just a very unfortunate thing that happened. Basically came down our ceiling, had a couple panic attacks throughout the week just because no money and that sort of thing. So that's always fun. But yeah, we'll be all right. Hopefully we can get insurance to help us out a little bit with it, because the ceiling's just kind of fucked. But yeah, so that's how I started my week. The rest of the week went pretty well. I will say, back on it. I've been using Magic Mind this week. So I'm doing their 7-day challenge of just taking it every day. And I've been doing it for a bit now, and it's really simple. Just right down the hatch, baby. It's a very quick like shot in the morning. Gives you that energy you need to get throughout the day. A lot of distractions in the world, a lot of stuff going on. You might have Subway surfers running during movies. No more. Basically, it gives you a lot of help, especially like if you're like me and have ADHD. I've struggled with that my whole life. Don't like how other ADHD medications like make me feel. I don't want them to explode my heart at 30. So this has been like something that's been very, very useful for me. Helps me focus. It's a mental performance shot that you take at the start of the day. Has timed released energy throughout the day. So it's not like a cup of coffee that gives you a nice burst at the very start of the day, and then you need a second cup by the end of the day. I'm going all day with this thing. So I really am enjoying Magic Mind 100%. Like, do recommend it because it truly has helped me out. Takes a couple days to get going. Like if you take one day, you probably won't feel much. And then by like day 3, you'll be like, I'm locked in right now. It helps you at work, helps you to do this podcast. So hopefully I'm not as big of a ditz during this podcast. We'll see. You guys can let me know.
Even though you just blacked out for 10 seconds.
Well, I just took it. I just took it on camera. You just saw it. Come on, man. Yeah, no, I did black out for 10 seconds.
So basically if you don't black out for 10 seconds versus the pod, then it works.
Exactly. Honestly, yeah, that's exactly what I would say. If you don't black out for 10 seconds during the podcast, that's about as impressive as anything gets. But yeah, you can go to magicmind.com and check it out. They have a limited offer that you can now use that gets you 48% off on your first subscription, or 20% off with a one-time purchase using code ReelTok at checkout. So that is magicmind.com/ReelTok, ReelTok, magicmind.com/ReelTok. Check it out. Support us, support Magic Mind. We would really appreciate it.
You taking one of these a day, or you have to take multiple?
Yeah, so it's just one a day. No, it's just one a day. It genuinely like has been really useful. It's helps me lock in during work, and sometimes work gets a little like I get a little distracted. There are a lot of screens in my life, phone, computers. Just get distracted sometimes. So it really helps during work, and really helps during movie watching and things like that. But not everyone struggles with like focus. I do very much, as you can tell by my blackout like 10 minutes ago. But yeah, my week's been that's been my week really is the flood. I watched a good amount of stuff this week. I have like grinded through Invincible. I'm through like the first season and a half of Invincible, and have been reading it a bunch. I'm gonna go buy the book number 3 here after this pod. Kind of digging it. Really good show, really good read. I don't know. I'm not sure if I like watching the show and not knowing what's going on, or if I like knowing what's going on. I don't know, but I'm really into the book right now. So I'm going to read it till I'm not as into it, I guess.
Are you past the point of the show yet?
Oh yeah. I'm a decent amount past. Yeah. I'm probably through the next season as well.
I gotta get on this. I
got some ball knowledge, man. Let me learn you something.
Yeah, I gotta get on this.
But yeah, that's kind of taking up most of my time. I watched Jurassic World. Well, no, actually, I didn't watch that this week. I watched it last week. I forgot about Letterboxd basically this week because I realized I hadn't logged Sing Sing, I hadn't logged Jurassic World Dominion, I hadn't logged Star Wars, and those were all watches that I had completed by last week's episode, and it was Thursday, and I hadn't logged anything in 5 days. It was weird. But then watch Brave New World and The Gorge. Other than Invincible, not been watching a ton. So we'll talk those, and we'll just slide right into them. And we're obviously going to start with Captain America, Brave New World. So we will do 5 minutes of non-spoilers, and then we'll get into spoilers if you have seen the episode. If you have not and you don't want to listen to the review just yet, Tyler is fantastic about it and always puts in timestamps and little like YouTube bookmarks, so you can always see where we're at. So check out the timestamps, skip ahead if you want, or listen to the spoilers and just get it all spoiled for you. But Captain America, Brave New World. Let me pull up the old synopsis. Directed by Julius Ona, the future favors the brave. After meeting with newly elected U.S. President Thaddeus Ross, Sam finds himself in the middle of an international incident. He must discover the reason behind the nefarious global plot before the true mastermind has his entire world seeing red. That seeing red is very funny. That's a very funny way to end that. Just very funny. So yeah, Captain America 4, the first entry of the Anthony Mackie Captain America movies. I bet he gets a couple more. I wonder if he gets a trilogy, but this actually is performing very well. I think on opening night it had a $40 million box office, which is the second highest Captain America performance. So I believe Civil War is the highest, but still performing well. We don't have full like weekend numbers just yet, but I'm almost confident he probably gets a trilogy, and then obviously will be a big part of the Avengers movies. Harrison Ford takes over as Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, I could say, replacing the great William Hurt. Rest in peace. Danny Ramirez is in here as Joaquin Torres, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Falcon. Shira Haas, Tim Blake Nelson, Giancarlo Esposito, Carl Lumbly, and a bunch of other names here. So yeah, we'll get right into it. George, give me your thoughts. Quick, non-spoilers. We'll get into that.
We'll do spoilers later. Quick, where to even start? This is I can't even say this is a new low, because I don't think it's as bad as Quantumania. I do think that is still like the floor for Marvel right now. But damn, I hate that I went into this with like some sort of expectations. I told you guys I like that first trailer. I like the dun, like of that.
Sick! Great trailers.
That first trailer.
Great trailers. So they never miss on trailers.
Yeah, so like it got me really excited, and I was watching this movie, and I was like, this is like, it's not a movie. It's this shitty interlude. Like it has nothing. Like there's no need for this movie. They tried to recreate like the Winter Soldier, like that spy espionage vibe, and it never worked.
I disagree slightly.
That it didn't.
I think there's
work?
a need for no, it didn't work. Sorry, I think there's a need for this movie. Maybe not this movie.
Maybe I worded it incorrectly. This movie feels like it's not. It's not. It doesn't have its own personality. Like the movie is just meant to take us to like that next phase of Marvel. Like introduce that. Like the post-credit scene was probably like the most important part. The post-credit scene sucked. But like that was it. Like this was the whole movie just leading to, this is the next phase of Marvel, and this was just like a way to like introduce Anthony Mackie as Captain America officially for those who probably didn't watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
But even then, like it's not introducing a new phase, right? We're still in phase 4. If I'm not mistaken.
But like
how long have we been in phase 4? By the way,
a while. I saw a tweet that someone said like this, like after someone watched Captain America: Brave New World, they tweeted like this feels like the last post-Endgame Marvel movie, where like Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four feels like this like soft relaunch, I guess. I disagree. I mean, I hope I'm wrong, but I disagree. But I could see it that way, where like this movie was just so uninspired, so creatively devoid. Marvel are a bunch of cowards for showing us Red Hulk in the trailer. He is not the main villain of this movie. That's not even a spoiler. And if it is a spoiler,
that's a no shit. I feel.
Yeah, I don't care if it's a spoiler. Red Hulk is in the movie for about 46 seconds, and it is a really shitty fight. The main villain. Cam, you said this, I think, in your review.
Well, don't say. Well, the spoiler is who the main villain is, because he's
I'm not spoiling it. I'm just saying this is a Incredible Hulk 2. That's what this movie is.
Yeah, Yeah,
They just had, they either had no idea
just
how to
shoehorned in Captain America.
Exactly. They just shoehorned in Captain America. And you know what really sucks that I'm surprised no one's talking about? It's the first movie you have a black Captain America. You have the opportunity to say something. You have the opportunity to be inspiring. You have the opportunity to like lift up a new generation of Marvel fans, and you do nothing with it.
I wonder if they. So I know you didn't go and rewatch it. I didn't. I don't know many people that did. I wonder if they thought they've done that with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier show.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Like I will say, Falcon. I didn't hate Falcon and Winter Soldier. I certainly didn't like it.
Still, when I had belief in this franchise,
that show had like Captain America's essence. Like at no point, and this is not a discredit to Anthony Mackie, because I do like Anthony Mackie. I think he's a very charming person. I never felt like that was Captain America. I never felt like he had that like Captain America essence. Like the shield in this movie meant nothing. Like there was just absolutely nothing. Whereas like the shield in every other Captain America movie, like it had its moment. It had its moment where it's like, it's either like Cap is not defined by the shield, or the shield is such an important part to Cap. Like it always had like, there was always something going on with the shield in the movie. There was always something going on with, you know, the stars and stripes on Cap's suit. This movie it didn't feel like Captain America. It just felt like a dude wearing Captain America cosplay. And the reason I felt that way is because this wasn't a Captain America movie. This is an Incredible Hulk 2 movie. But they are just, Marvel was either just too cowardice to market it that way. I
completely agree saying like the shield didn't feel like it really had any weight, but I disagree. I think Captain America, I think Anthony Mackie has the ability to do this, and I really liked him in this.
That's also what bothers me, is like I know Anthony Mackie has the ability to do this. Like I loved him as Falcon. I loved him as Captain America in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Like I liked him. I like him as like this really like, I don't want to say intimidating because that makes him sound like an asshole, but like this very like, he's a presence, like he's there, like he's a big body, like and he clearly loves playing this role. I don't know, man. The character of Captain America felt weightless in this movie. And I know, and again, I'm going to keep going back to it. I know Sammy and Alex like tweeted about it saying like, oh, you give us a black Captain America and Black History Month and it's just meaningless and the movie's bad. And like, yeah, that's true. And it's really bothering because like Marvel had such a beautiful opportunity to do something inspiring for like this new generation of Marvel fans. Like you're introducing a new Captain America, make it for a new generation of Marvel fans. And it's so a team of writers that have no experience, a director who's I've only seen one of his movies, and it's the Cloverfield Paradox, and it's one of the worst movies I've ever seen. It's like, I don't know. It's like, what is the decision-making process? Why do you have this filmmaker? Why do you have this group of 7 writers that have zero experience trying to make the next Captain America movie? You know, none of it made sense.
I think
there's a big go.
Just while you're, I started my review with this. I genuinely feel bad for Anthony Mackie because it feels 100%. Like he's shoehorned into this movie and he's going to get a lot of shit because of it. And you already have a bunch of racists online like saying it's like I can't remember, but just a bunch of assholes online. And it's really hard to like say this movie stinks without like being grouped into that camp. Or maybe it's not really hard because this movie stinks, but I'm not because I'm a racist asshole. But you know, I genuinely feel bad for Anthony Mackie because I think he does a really good job. And it's so clear this isn't his movie. It's so clear this is an Incredible Hulk 2, but they don't have the rights to the Incredible Hulk. So the reason we've never gotten an Incredible Hulk movie post the Incredible Hulk, and he's always just in part, is basically because they had like the Spider-Man treatment almost, where Sony owns the Spider-Man character, but Universal owns the Incredible Hulk character. And so they can they have a deal that they can put him in their movies, but they cannot like make a Incredible Hulk movie. And so it's just very clear that they can make a Captain America movie and then use 2 Incredible Hulk villains. But but they can't make, and then they can make a She-Hulk show, but they can bring in the Hulk for a couple minutes or something. Like, it's very clear they can work that out, but they can't use also a Thor Ragnarok movie that includes Hulk, but they can't make a Hulk movie, which is just, I've liked how they've used the Hulk like in sparing ways, but this is not it, because this is just very clearly it's not a Captain America movie. Unfortunately, it's a Incredible Hulk movie that they put Captain America in, and they also, I think they clearly realized at some point this is kind of half-assed, and they were probably like, hey, we're $150 million into this thing. It's not working, but we have to release this movie because we cannot just eat that money.
And that's what sucks too. Like you said, like, I like Anthony Mackie, and he's gonna get like so much flack for this movie when in reality it's absolutely not his fault. Like, he clearly he clearly loves playing this role. Like, there's no doubt about it. And you even listen to interviews of him talking about this role. He's trying to make this movie, like, he's doing his best to make this movie mean something. He understands like what he's doing. He understands that he is the first Black Captain America on screen, and he's trying to make it inspiring. He's trying to make it meaningful. Unfortunately, he just doesn't have a movie to back himself up. The one thing I kept thinking while watching this movie was there was that clip of Anthony Mackie going around where he was basically like, this is the first time people are going to see my movie. And as I'm watching this movie, I'm like, no one's going to see the latest Anthony Mackie picture. No one's going to see, like, people are going to see the latest Captain America picture, and it sucks because, like, no one's even really going to see the latest Captain America picture. People are just going to see, like, what Marvel's doing next, and, like, this is the product. This is the result, and it's just, it sucks. It sucks. It's like I wanted to leave this theater so badly because I was like, the entire time I'm watching this movie, I'm like, damn, like, we used to have Winter Soldier. We used to have Civil War, Ragnarok, Endgame, Infinity War. Like, no, these aren't, like, the best movies ever, but damn, like, they knew what they were doing back in the day. Sorry.
They were.
Like, they knew what they were doing back in the day, and it's just like, this is what we have now, and it sucks. Like, beyond like the movie and its narrative and its screenplay, it's like, it's so ugly, man. It's so ugly. The whole fight scene with Red Hulk, like, how is that a practical design? Only the MCU can make something practical look CGI'd. It looked so shit, man. It was tough to sit through, and a lot of people are like, oh, well, you know what? Fuck this. Last week I shit on the big picture. This week I'm going to shout out the big picture because they actually had a really good argument that I saw on Twitter.
George Carmi redemption arc.
Yeah, redemption arc. Shout out the big picture, whatever his name is. Sean, I think. He was basically saying he was like, at what point is a bad movie bad and a bad movie entertaining? Because what they were arguing on their podcast. And I listened to this clip, and then I went and listened to their entire Captain America review, and they made obviously some very good points. But one of the points that they basically said was they think Madam Web is a better movie, or because they had the better experience than Captain America: Brave New World. Whereas I'm going to butcher what they say.
I guess, I don't know what they're saying.
They were basically saying,
I disagree with that point.
Yeah. I'm butchering what they were saying, but they were basically I never once felt entertained by Captain America: Brave New World. It really did feel like they were just trying to move forward the MCU. This movie really was just this movie just exists. Whereas Madam Web is so bad, you could at least find entertainment in it. Captain America: Brave New World is so bad, it's agonizing. And that's kind of the point that they made. And I agree. And I got a lot of comments, basically people saying oh, and this guy gave Venom: The Last Dance 2.5. And I'm like, yeah, because that movie's funny as fuck.
Venom: The Last Dance is definitely better than this movie.
Yeah, for sure. No doubt. But they're both bad movies, but I was at least entertained with The Last Dance, whereas Captain America: Brave New World, it felt like a chore. It felt like I had to watch it, not because I wanted to, but because I just have to. And that's not what I want from Marvel anymore. And that's just, it feels like that's what I've gotten lately. It's no, we don't want you to watch these movies because you want to. You have to watch these movies, and that's what I'm getting from Marvel, which sucks. So yeah, those are kind of my overall thoughts on Captain America. I did think on it long and hard. It is worse than Deadpool and Wolverine. I did think on that long and hard. I was going I don't know if you like kept up with my Letterboxd, my MCU ranking, but I probably moved them like back and forth like 10 times. I think I'm landing at, because at the end of the day, if you ask me to rewatch one of them, I'm at least picking the Deadpool and Wolverine because I got a couple of laughs out of it. Oh, let me give you a positive. One positive. I like Danny Ramirez. He's funny as hell. Everything he said actually like genuinely made me chuckle. He had such like, he was just so naturally funny. And I appreciated that. I liked him. He was cool.
I think I'm being too hard on this movie because as I think about it it's not as bad as Deadpool and Wolverine, nearly even close, in my opinion. It's not as bad as Quantumania. What are you doing?
Sorry. Oh, did you hear that? Sorry, I thought I muted myself.
It was like right by your mic. No, you're good.
Closing the blinds.
No, yeah, you're fine. I don't think it's Thor: Love and Thunder. I don't think it's the Marvels. I don't think it's Quantumania. I don't think it's Deadpool and Wolverine. I think it's better than those, but I might have to I think I need to lower those and not raise this. But Tyler, give your thoughts.
Yeah, no, I kind of agree there with I don't think this movie is any like egregiously worse than like, you know, the bad tier of Marvel movies. And I think a lot of people are treating this as like, this is like a shockingly
my theory is why. So Tyler, whenever you're done, I'll give you my theory.
Okay. I'm excited to hear that theory, but
yeah,
you could tell this movie was hacked together. I mean, wasn't this the initial release date like about a year ago? It was like early 2024, right? Like that, and it got crazy delays. Like clearly they butchered a bunch of this and it's slopped a bunch of stuff together here. And let's see, the positives, I guess I disagree with the big picture. I was entertained by this, like until the end, because what it builds up to, I feel like was just like the most nothing burger of all time. But like the ride there, like it's one of the shorter MCU movies. Like what is the actual runtime? It's like an hour 40.
2 hours.
Like
I thought it was 2 hours.
Well, it's 1 hour 19, but I mean, like when you factor in like credits and like post credits, like I feel like the actual, like by the time the movie ended, it was like, oh shit, like that was pretty quick. Which I don't know. I guess we've gotten some under 2 hour Marvel movies, but still I felt like it was a quicker runtime than normal. But I was entertained by it, honestly, and until the end, like I said. So I was still in the ride, strapped in, but the movie was uglier than I could have ever imagined. And like, I am going to hold it against it because at the end of the day, like you shouldn't be able to get off scot-free with it. But I was going to say, like, I already expected this movie to look ugly. Like we already saw the trailers, like the rose trees and gardens, like it looked awful. We knew the cinematography is going to be ass, cherry blossoms. We knew that was going to look ugly. But beyond that, like everything else was like, I didn't like really any of the suits in this movie. Red Hulk, I thought looked bad. I thought all the, like, I saw a lot of negative reviews where people were like, well, at least it had some good action, but the rest of the movie sucked. Like, I thought the action sucked. Like, I thought that was
cool. Bad take.
All the fight scenes were so
in my opinion. Action's great. No,
fight scenes are so bad.
That's crazy.
Anthony Mackie looks like he needs to go to the chiropractor or something. He cannot move like an action
That's
star.
Crazy.
But he's probably like 50. No, that's and then the Red Hulk fight scene was
God,
that was some of the worst
crazy
stuff.
Good moments.
Tough to sit through.
Bad stuff, man. So yeah, the action was ass. The story was ass. Like it was just hacked together, and what it builds up to is just brutal. Shira Haas is just horrible as an actress.
I don't know how she wasn't cut.
So
she has a lot of controversy, obviously with the Israel-Palestine conflict. Not going to get into that too much. I don't understand how she wasn't cut. She was a big part of the movie, so I understand that. Like someone told me before that she was in like 5 minutes. No, she's a very large part of this movie.
Big role.
Yeah, I don't know how she wasn't cut.
I don't think her acting is egregiously bad, but yeah, they needed to just make a sound.
She's also, mind you, 4'8", maximum, throwing people around, like throwing.
Well, she's a widow. She's a widow.
Yeah. Well, not only throwing people around, but she's like 4'8", like standing up, like and like talking stern to like military men and like world leaders. And it's like I just never bought any of it. Like it just doesn't work. And I really did not like her. And anytime she had a moment where it was like she had to have like a big grandstanding moment, it just wasn't there. Giancarlo Esposito, also,
dude, he's done, right? Like he's just so out of his like intimidating prime. I don't know how to describe it. Like he's a good actor, but he's got to stop playing like the intimidating guy.
So he's the guy who had that soundbite saying like he was planning on like killing himself at one point because like if he didn't make it as an actor, he's like I'm gonna take out a life insurance policy and just like do that.
Yep.
So I feel like low key, he obviously struck gold with Breaking Bad, being the intimidating Gus Fring.
Yeah.
And since then, everyone just has been typecasting him as that intimidating guy. And he's like, I'm going with it, man. I made it. I'm finally making money. I'm going with the flow. We're just gonna ride this.
Mandalorian.
He is good. Mandalorian, correct?
Mandalorian. He's like
also great.
The main villain of like
Boys.
a Far Cry video game.
The Boys, he's good. Yeah, I mean, he is good in that intimidating, just like businessman suave role. Yeah. He's very good in it. But he's also really good in Do the Right Thing, where he's just a goof. Like, I really like him in that movie. He's absolutely hilarious.
Yeah. Also, I don't want to just immediately be like, oh, he's just not good as the intimidating presence, because like no one in this movie had anything to work with. Like they just.
He's good as an intimidating presence. I don't think he's good as like an action star, because there's like a moment where he like does like a turn with a gun where I'm like that was funny.
He's 77, 66. I can't remember. Is he 66 or 77?
He's old for sure.
I know he's like a double number. I just got to look 66. And which he's doing well for 66, but at that age, I mean, I don't think it's this bad, but it's Robert De Niro beating the shit out of someone in The Irishman. I don't think it's that bad, because Marvel probably has much more money, but to get a stump double in, but it's around there, man.
That's an all-time clip of like De Niro throwing someone out of the store and like kicking him on the street. It looks so shit.
I mean, as a person who likes The Incredible Hulk, I mean, I haven't seen it forever, but I like that movie. It was nice seeing like Tim Blake Nelson back. And some of the other people they're bringing back, which we'll talk about.
Was it though?
I mean,
well, one of the person they brought back was the worst cameo Marvel's ever done in their entire history.
Entirely agree.
We'll literally last place ranked.
Yeah, no doubt. No
and
doubt.
I can guarantee that person was not even in the room when they filmed the scene. I just guarantee it.
No doubt.
Not in that room.
I saw
it. And I'm not fully convinced it was really them, because the line I'm like, this could be an AI person.
It could be AI. It could be what they did with like Lizard in Spider-Man No Way Home, where they use a bunch of like deleted.
About right now.
Just wait till the spoilers. We're not going to say it right now. Just wait till spoilers.
It's not.
Just time out. We'll get to it, George.
The way
Don't
you
ask, because then
it,
you'll.
I was like, I missed something.
It's bad. No, I know who you're talking about.
I know who you're talking about. That one's bad too, but not as bad as the one I'm talking.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I was entertained enough by this. Again, I mean, people have already posted it on Twitter and saying like, Marvel, you don't have to put in end credit scenes, and I totally echo that. You don't have to when they do nothing like this.
Or if you feel like you do, make them useful and not something we've been doing.
Yeah, like you posted, Cam Walsh 27 posted a really good video about like the worst end credit scenes.
Dude, the Cam Walsh 27 crash out on TikTok is lovely.
Going crazy.
But bottom line, though, I think this movie is very ugly, but not egregiously uglier than some other MCU movies we've seen. I think it's a mess of a plot, and it seems like it shoehorns a lot of things just to try and move the narrative forward, but not egregiously more so than other MCU movies you've seen. So I guess the bottom line is I just think that this movie isn't that much worse than like what the worst Marvel movies are. And some people are treating this as like someone slaughtered their newborn baby in front of them. I just think I think the movie's ass. I think it's a 1.5 star.
That's me.
But this is coming from a guy who gives Captain America: The First Avenger 1.5 star. Like,
yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. I like Captain America: First Avenger a lot.
It's not egregiously worse than that.
All right. So, fun fact, by the way, we are in phase 5, and we're actually at the end of phase 5. So I thought we were still in phase 4. Thunderbolts is the last. But Thunderbolts is the last of phase 5. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania was the start of phase 5. But just make these all one phase, by the way. So Black Widow obviously started phase 4, or maybe not obviously if you didn't know, but Black Widow started phase 4, and then it ends with Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. But like, why? Like there's nothing distinguishable about. I feel like phase 1 is like, hey, this is the start, and these are your Avengers. There's phase 1. Phase 2 is like, hey, here are a bunch of sequels to your Avengers, and we introduced a couple new characters. And then phase 3 is obviously like, hey, we get to Endgame, and Far From Home counts just because it's kind of like the cherry on top of talking about Iron Man dying and repercussions of that a little bit.
Yep.
Makes sense. I'm here for it. Phase 4, Black Widow through Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. What's that bookmark? Like, I understand Black Widow just kind of starts, but like, why not? I don't know.
It was the phase 4, like that was they tried to just recreate phase 1 where they tried to like rebuild, like it's
a little bit, yeah. And I think
phase 4 where what was the TV show Miss Marvel? Or what was that?
I don't have the
yeah, but like that's just where
TV
they like
shows.
That's like where they try to like rebuild everything, like WandaVision. You know, they tried to reset Wanda and Vision.
WandaVision,
you know?
Captain America, the Brave, or Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Sorry.
Yeah, like they tried to make like this like new Avengers team. It never worked out. I mean, I don't know if it ever worked out. Maybe it's still all a part of the big plan, but I don't know.
So here's where I'm at. So apparently we're about to finish phase 5 with the Thunderbolts. Here's where I'm at. Captain America Brave New World struggles. It's very clearly Incredible Hulk 2. Give it a 42 out of 100, a 2 out of 5 stars. Where it strives, and I don't understand where you guys are coming from. I think the action is really, really good. Really fun. Especially the Tiamat like action scene of like him just flying through the air and stopping these missiles. I think I really like the dogfight action. I really, really enjoyed that. I thought that Red Hulk fight doesn't look good, but it has like fun moments. Like I really love what they did with Anthony Mackie's like wing and shield combo here of like getting the wing staff some vibranium so he can use like energy pulses. I like that. That's all fun. I think they did a good job like doing that sort of thing. I think Red Hulk is really cool. I think they showed every bit of it in the trailer. So nothing new. So the really cool things that I saw them in the trailer and thought they were cool then.
Dude,
still think they're cool.
That should have been the big like cameo. Like
every moment
frustrating.
Yeah, every moment of this movie was shown in the trailer, or every moment of this fight, I should say, was shown in the trailer. Yeah. The leader sucks. I guess, sorry, I may have said earlier that was a spoiler. My bad. The leader sucks. He just does. He's one of the worst Marvel villains. He's on the list of Jan Rog, if you remember Jan Rog. He's on the list of Crow, Malekith, Caecilius is bad. He's just a really, really bad villain. Do you guys remember Dreykov from the Black Widow movie? Bad villain. Yeah. Just the same as he's on the leader is on that list, and that's crazy because he's like the leader is a fascinating character, I guess, like where you can see all these possibilities and you have this genius mind. First misstep, not a big enough head. If you've seen pictures of the leader, like from comics, not nearly a big enough head. Make his head ginormous. That dude should be looking like from Ant-Man the Wasp Quantumania, who's the big head guy? MODOK.
Megamind.
Yeah, no, MODOK. He should look like that. So yeah, just unfortunately, yeah. Look at this. We should have gotten that. All we got was Bubbly, which was crazy. Should have given the leader that head. Yes. And like I said earlier, I just feel bad for Anthony Mackie. I think he does a very good job in this thing, or attempts to. And like seeing him on the red carpet, like talking about how like this is the first time people have came to see his movie versus like a movie he's in. That's I like that, man. Like he clearly understands the weight of this. He's clearly excited. I'm really happy for him getting that. I hope he doesn't get dragged too much because like people are just the worst in the world. But yeah, they just kind of really struggles here. I think I hit on all that I like. Oh, the writing is horrendous. It's probably one of the worst written movies in the MCU. My theory. So my theory is this is really not that much worse than Ant-Man the Wasp Quantumania. I think I have Black Widow higher than this, which I don't mind Black Widow as I like think about. I don't know if this is much worse than those movies, but those movies came out when you were at such a high that I think you were allowed the excuse of it's fine. Like, and some movies are just fine. Now that the it's fine is your ceiling, that's a problem. That's what I think the issue is. And that's why I think like it's getting absolutely shit on in like scores and not box office necessarily, but like the reviews are pandering it. Or panning it. I think that's my theory is that like some of these movies that are probably on the same level of it, specifically like the Ant-Man movies that I hold higher, Iron Man 3, I don't think is much worse than this or much better than this, but I think I have it higher because again, it was coming out when like that was the floor. Like if you're giving me a fine movie as the floor, I'm going to be like, yeah, it's fine, and I'll bump it up because I'm enjoying these things. Right now, I'm not enjoying these things. So if we look at Phase 5, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, one of the worst Marvel movies. Guardians of the Galaxy 3, outlier. James Gunn knows what he's doing and is one of the best Marvel movies in my opinion. Yep. Again, outlier. The Marvels, unfortunately, one of the worst Marvel movies. Deadpool and Wolverine, one of the worst Marvel movies. Captain America: Brave New World, one of the worst Marvel movies. And I don't know if this one specifically is truly that bad, but I think when it's your ceiling, the ceiling's lower at this point. Like I can't raise it any higher. That's why I said I think Deadpool and Wolverine and Quantumania, I have to bring down. Thor: Love and Thunder, I have to bring down rather than raising this up.
What sucks is like everyone, and you can even like include myself in this. I keep saying like this post Endgame Marvel. If you look at like the movies immediately after Endgame, Far From Home, good. Black Widow, not that bad. Shang-Chi, good. Eternals, I'm a little higher.
I like Eternals. I like Eternals.
I like Eternals.
And it looks really good. If nothing else, that movie looks amazing.
Beautiful. I like that movie. No Way Home. I'm lower on it than I was when I first watched it. I still think it's a great movie. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Good movie. Then from there, it falls off. So like post Marvel and
Wakanda Forever good. Hey, Wakanda Forever good.
Wakanda Forever good. Fair. And Werewolf by Night. I'll shout out that as well. I know we're not talking like the short films, but still.
That's good too,
like
though.
Post Endgame Marvel, like there was no like cohesion. Like they clearly didn't have a plan, but they weren't dropping absolute duds like Brave New World and Deadpool and Wolverine and the Marvels and Quantumania. They were at least giving us like entertaining films. And obviously entertaining is subjective. One person might look at Brave New World and say it's very entertaining versus me who thinks it's not entertaining at all. But like post Endgame Marvel like had a streak of like entertaining movies that I still rate positively. It's just, when your last three movies are Brave New World, Deadpool and Wolverine, and the Marvels, and then you even throw in what was that?
Quantumania.
No. Quantumania as well. The TV show with Sam Jackson.
Echo.
What was it?
Secret Invasion.
Secret Invasion, even Echo.
All of these, though.
Yeah,
all of them.
Exactly. You throw in the mix, like you have these three bad movies, Brave New World, Deadpool and Wolverine, and the Marvels. And people are like, oh, Marvel hasn't released that many bad movies. It's like, no, but they're also releasing Echo and Secret Invasion and these dog shit television shows. So it's like, we're on a really bad streak right now. We're on a really bad streak. And it sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, damn, man. I filtered like my MCU ranking by like release date. Like,
yeah.
Dude, we had a stretch, man. Avengers Endgame, Infinity War, Black Panther, Ragnarok, Homecoming, Civil War, Guardians 1, Winter Soldier, like this shit used to mean something to me.
I know. I'm with you, man. And all right, let's get into spoilers.
People are always like, "Oh, George just jumping on the Marvel hate train." Like, no, bro. Like, I'll still fucking watch Infinity War and cry when Peter says, "I don't want to go, Mr. Stark." Like, this shit still means something to me. It's like you're just this string right here of like 16 projects.
Yeah. It's bad, man.
It's tough.
Let's get into spoilers. So Captain America, Brave New World spoilers start now. I believe we have a 1.5 out of 5 for Tyler and George, a 43 out of 100 for myself, a 2 out of 5. Just unfortunate, man. But yeah, so this basically starts off with Thunderbolt Ross. Literally, this entire movie is Thunderbolt Ross saying, "This treaty, my daughter, and cherry blossoms." If he says any of those words anymore, I'll kill myself on screen. I can't believe it, man. Like, this writing is impeccably awful. So starts off with him at his presidential election, asking where his daughter is, who by the way, we haven't seen in 17 years and no one cares about. I'm sorry to Liv Tyler. No one cares about her character. I'm sorry. No, not many people really care about Thunderbolt Ross. And also, it's a recast Thunderbolt Ross. Again, rest in peace, William Hurt. Like, obviously that is not intended, not expected from the Marvel Studios when you're in pre-production and you still decide to recast the character with a fantastic actor in I almost said Han Solo in Jesus Christ, Harrison Ford. And I think he does pretty well in this, but when your entire emotional beat of your movie relies on a person you haven't seen in 17 years, a minor character you haven't seen in 17 years, and a recast character of someone, again, a minor recast character, you're fucked from the get-go. You're screwed.
Well, mind you, even one step further, and she's a love interest of a recast Hulk. So there's everything about her is just everyone else from that movie has literally been replaced. Why is she being brought back?
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. It's a recast Hulk, recast Thunderbolt Ross, minor character that no one cares about. And since we're already in spoilers, assuming everyone's seen it, you see for 1.5 minutes, and again, Tyler, I'm pretty confident this is who you were talking about, was not on set, was looking at a green screen, wasn't even looking at a green screen. They was standing on a green screen. They said, hey, read these lines. You're not actually going to interact with this person. It's about as bad. It's about as bad as the Morbius post-credit scene, where he's clearly not talking to anyone, and he's saying gibberish about Spider-Man. It's about that bad. That's my take. Is that who you were talking about, Tyler?
Absolutely. Like the worst cameo ever. Because like she literally, I feel like they just said like, here's your line, put her on camera.
Is this Betty?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
See, you're cooked. Like you don't even know who it is. Like you don't even care.
Well, to be fair, the Winter Soldier.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like no one cares.
Too. The Sebastian Stan cameo was also ass.
Yeah,
I find that they bring Sebastian Stan back, and I think it works in the slightest sense, but it's just Falcon and the Winter Soldier in 20 seconds. They did this entire arc of I'm not Steve. I can't do this. I should have taken the super serum soldier. They did this in the show. So do not do it again. Stop talking down to your audience so bad that you refuse to acknowledge, hey, everyone's still here, or 95% of the people that are still here probably watched Winter Soldier or Falcon and the Winter Soldier. They probably watched that. Tyler, I don't think you did, or maybe that's when you got to. Okay, maybe that's when you got to. I'm just saying, like, but you also have a movie podcast, so like you'll keep up enough. Most people that are still watching this franchise that don't have a movie podcast and don't care about it, or like, I don't know. I'm just saying most people have probably seen this if they're fans of this franchise. You've done this fucking arc where he didn't believe he was Steve Rogers. He didn't believe he deserved to use the shield. He didn't know if he should take the super serum soldier or not. You've done this in a 6-part miniseries on Disney Plus 5 years ago.
That's the lazy, like half-assed
I agree.
inspiration that this movie was going.
Yep.
They did that, and they didn't channel that inspiration into something that actually mattered. They channeled it into a 30-second cameo with Bucky, so someone can point at the screen and say, "Oh, it's Bucky Barnes."
And they did the whole thing too, where like he walks in, he's like, "Hey, room's closed." Then he like,
there's like,
you
knew someone.
This one got a cheers, like happy reaction in my theater.
It did.
Not a peep from Liv Tyler. Not a peep from her, man.
When Betty showed up on screen, someone literally in my theater goes like, "Oh shit, no way!" And my eyes rolled so far back in my head.
I almost don't believe you, George.
Like,
no one talked during mine.
Yeah.
And my audience was pretty like reactive. Like they were laughing, having a good time.
Well, the thing is, it's honestly would have been more pathetic to not have her come back with how much she was brought up in this damn movie by President Ross being like, Betty, let's go walking in the cherry blossoms. Hey, yo, Betty, let's go take a stroll through the trees. But no,
they had to bring her back for sure.
Yeah, but it's frustrating because what George said too about, like Anthony Mackie, being a Black Captain America, they had an opportunity to really like say something and do something serious here. And Cam, I think I agree with probably what you said, where maybe they felt like they covered that in Falcon and Winter Soldier. But I really
like
loved
Soups posted his big speech like from Falcon and the Winter Soldier yesterday. It's like a good speech. Like he's like I'm a black man wearing the Stars and Stripes. Like I know what the fuck I'm talking about when I talk about like people looking at me different. Like, and he's not, it's not like super on the nose, but it's like, it is saying like, I know what the fuck's going on. Like, but they don't do anything of that here. But
but I feel like they had an opportunity with, I really like the beginning seeds they planted with Carl Lumbly, Isaiah Bradley?
Yeah, Isaiah Bradley, who's really good in this, by the way.
With the whole like storyline of like he was Captain America, and obviously he's also a black man as well. He's like thrown away, and like he's been just mistreated ever since, and he's just people kind of just treat him like dirt ever since, and he served his country and did all these things. So it's like that there's could have been so much there. Like this guy served his country.
They did that in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Like
to be fair, I watched that in 2021, so maybe I probably forgot that too.
They did do that exact thing. I don't hate that they like bring them back, and they do have to explain it a little. I get it, but when you bring so many people back and you have to explain it, it's too much. It's just like you bring one character back, that's fine.
The TV show does like that like Black Captain America better than the movie did. Like Isaiah in the TV show actually like served purpose. Like he was a point of caution, but also a point of inspiration. Whereas like kind of shoehorned into this movie, and then like we've been saying, like the relevance of Anthony Mackie being the first Black Captain America on screen is just it's nothing. It's watered down to nothing, and it's frustrating.
Yeah. I guess I completely forgot about that. All I remember is
that's
guy
fine.
From, Wyatt Russell, and then the Antifa people. That's all I remember from that show.
Yeah, that's where the show has its downfall is the villains who I can't remember what they're the hand or something.
Flag Smashers.
The Flag Smashers. Thank you. That villain is bad, but like Wyatt Russell's really good in that show. Like the change of when he gets the serum, man. It's not a bad show. I might go back and rewatch it. But again, the Flag Smashers just suck.
Well, and now that we're in spoilers, I love that the villain, like the way the villain kind of takes over is it's just Screenslaver from Incredibles 2.
Yeah, it is, man. I thought that same exact thing.
I was like, hell yeah, saying that, dude. Coming into the MCU.
Screenslaver, and they're doing like this. They're doing like this Winter Soldier. So here, let's break the movie down beat by beat because I feel like we should for a big release like this. So the President Ross is inputted into he becomes the president at the very start of this movie. Then by the way, introing this movie with President Ross and not Captain America just starts you off as this isn't a Captain America movie.
Crazy.
There's your start. And then we get to see Anthony Mackie as Captain America, people talking about him. He's beloved by like his community, but obviously like hated by just racist people. But he goes to Mexico to stop the Serpent Society, who has stolen adamantium, which adamantium introduced in this movie. Very big thing, obviously, from the comics. I enjoy this. Like, I think this is a smart way to introduce adamantium. It's the metal off Tiamat, the Eternal. Like that, you have it right there. I think this is a very smart way to do it. It's like 5 years too late, but I think it's an interesting way to introduce it. Giancarlo Esposito plays Sidewinder, the leader of the Serpent Society. Just kind of nothing in this. But him and Joaquin Torres are the new. Sorry, Anthony Mackie and Joaquin Torres are the new Captain America and Falcon, and they go and stop him, obviously, and they use this as like a big start of like, hey, Captain America recovered the Japanese adamantium to keep safe for you. We're going to give it back as a goodwill because President Ross wants to basically have all these countries that have agreed to this world Tiamat trade or what treaty, whatever he calls it. He wants like US, Russia, Japan, other places to all can go to Tiamat and get their adamantium and they can use it to help the world. None of this is bad. I think this is like a good part of the movie. But so after this, they go to the White House. You meet Isaiah Bradley again. Joaquin Torres and Sam Wilson go to the White House with Isaiah Bradley. Isaiah Bradley gets hypnotized using his phone. And then attacks the president, as do like 5 other people. So that's kind of where the movie starts, right? And then it becomes this. It's not this Winter Soldier-esque espionage movie, but they really want it to be. They tried. Just not.
They tried their best. Applaud them for trying at least.
You know what the issue is? The Winter Soldier, as dark and espionage it is. It stays that way, and it doesn't have a big ass red Hulk at the end. So, it's just it's one of those things like, how are you going to claim you're trying to make this grounded, gritty MCU espionage, and then you have a big ass Hulk, you have a big ass Celestial coming out of the ocean, like you have all these fight scenes. Like, it's an action movie, it's an action thriller, espionage thriller. It's not a spy espionage thriller.
So random, bro, but such like a vivid Marvel memory of mine was that first Winter Soldier trailer where Cap throws his shield and Bucky catches it.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah,
and you have these big action set pieces in Winter Soldier, obviously, because you have to in a Marvel movie. But it starts off with a like covert operation where him and Natasha are sneaking onto a boat with no one else, and this starts off with a big guns firing throwdown or whatever you want to call it, of trying to save this adamantium, whatever. It just doesn't work.
And that too,
they think it does, but it just doesn't work.
And I said this in my Letterboxd review. There are so many like things going on in this movie that like should genuinely like excite us, should like really like excite Marvel fans. Like, we're being introduced to adamantium, we're finally getting some semblance of like what the Celestial is like going on, what's being done in like that realm of the Atlantic Ocean. You have that small Bucky cameo, you have Red Hulk. Like, these are big things that go on in like Marvel continuity, and they're just, I keep saying it during this review, they're just so weightless because nothing is just, everything is just so poorly written. Like, this movie should have excited me. Like, there's a fucking Celestial and they're finally addressing it. They're finally talking about adamantium. Like, that opens a lot of doors in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And it's just like, I'm watching it, and instead of being giddy like I used to be, I'm rolling my eyes. Like, remember I think it was Age of Ultron, where they were talking about Cap's shield, and they were like, we got to go to the one place where we could find this metal. And that was like the first like hint at Black Panther and Wakanda, because they were talking about
Wakanada.
Wakanada, what Bruce Banner says.
Mark Ruffalo says.
That's the feeling I should have gotten when they mentioned adamantium, but it's just not. Like, it's not.
No, I get you, man. I'm with you. It's just hard. We should know, I forgot to mention, one, the intro credits are not the Marvel like character role, which is crazy. They said they didn't want to do that because they wanted to keep it a grounded espionage thriller like the Winter Soldier. Hey, guess what the Winter Soldier had? The Marvel credits that everyone's known to grow and love. So just do it. Like, why are we, instead of playing the hits, they're like, play things people don't like. It's crazy. And then also Thunderbolt Ross is taking these pills. You think that they're clearly like some medicine to help him. You think they're whatever. We'll talk what they actually are here in a second. But basically, after all this happens, after Isaiah Bradley gets arrested, Sam's investigating this. He gets in another fight with Sidewinder, Giancarlo Esposito's character, and it's just this one's brutal looking, because again, Giancarlo Esposito, 66 years old, trying to do a lot of good stuff, and I think he's looking good, but at some point, your body just doesn't work like that. Mind you, Anthony Mackie, I love him, he's 46 and Chris Evans is 43. So how did we get this?
Really?
Yeah crazy. Right? Yeah, crazy, right?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, like, how do we get this new Captain America that's older than the retired Captain America?
So what the fuck? So Chris Evans was like 28, 29 when he started?
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, right.
My life
sucks. So 46 and 43. So just not a great hand-to-hand fight. This one I wasn't a fan of as much, but I think this is what they thought like the boat race or the boat intro of Winter Soldier was, but it's not there. After this fight, they figure out about Camp Echo 1, which is where the leader's being kept. And so they go there and they try to kill Isaiah, or the leader programs through screens someone to kill Isaiah Bradley and the other people that tried to assassinate the president. Or maybe it wasn't supposed to kill Isaiah Bradley. I kind of couldn't I forget which one it was. It may have just been like a hit to like make it look like they were going to try to kill him. They go to this Camp Echo 1, him and Torres. They figure out the leader has been has been like mind controlling people, using the screens, using screenslaver, basically like the Winter Soldier is kind of what they're going for. And then he realizes that like, oh, Thunderbolt Ross has been working with the leader because he reveals, hey, like, how do you think he got the presidency or something like that? And then you get the reveal of the leader looking just like Tim Blake Nelson with a little bit of boils on his head. Just not the leader. I don't understand what they were going for, because I said this in my review too. A lot of times you get like in Marvel, you're like, oh, that kind of sucked, but it's comic accurate. This sucks and it's not comic accurate. Yeah. So what were you going for, Marvel?
They probably fucking they were probably like, oh, we made MODOK comic accurate and people hated on him, so let's not do that anymore ever again.
Yeah. I don't know. So the new Black Widow, Ruth Bat Sarapah, Natasha Romanoff, Bat Sarapah, they're just doing the same exact names because I don't think they can like think of new names, because this is I believe this is for the most part like it's based off a character, but it's an original character. Again, don't know why she wasn't cut from the movie, but we don't have to get into that too much. So she is now working with Sam Wilson and Joaquin Torres. They go to a military friend of Sam Wilson to like figure out, hey, what are these pills? And that's when we find out that they're laced with gamma. And that's kind of how the leader has been inputting this gamma radiation into
Ross.
Oh, Jesus. Thunderbolt Ross. Thank you very much. I guess before they find that out, though, they have the fight at Tiamat because after the U.S. And Japan and everyone, they come to head, or they, what's the term? Like they come to, I don't know, crossroad, whatever. They all are racing to Tiamat to be the first ones to get the adamantium. Yeah. We have a battle at Tiamat. I thought this was incredible. I like really, really loved this action scene. It's a dogfight style action with Captain America and the Falcon, and they're basically trying to stop these missiles from blowing up Japan ships, blowing up the U.S. ships, because everyone's like enslaved by the screenslaver. They're all mind controlled based on what the leader's trying to do. And you just, I don't know. I really like what they did with Captain America's shield, the the vibranium wings. I think they give Sam Wilson a really, really cool fight here. And yeah, that I really enjoyed. I don't know. I know you guys said you didn't like the action, but I think the Tiamat fight was very, very good.
I don't think the action is like great across the board. I don't know. It just felt so lazy. Like it's just like you go from like Captain America Civil War, you have like the airport fight scene, and then you have right after it, you have like the big showdown between Bucky, Tony, and Cap. And like that just.
But I think you get that here. I think you get the cool. Like there's like.
There was never any emotional weight. There was never any there was nothing creative about it.
And I think that's on the writing. I don't disagree with that. There's not weight, but I think that's, I don't disagree that I think that's on the writing.
But even beyond the writing, like I don't think it looks good, like I'm even thinking back to like something as far back as like Iron Man 1, like the final showdown between Tony and, what's the big Iron Boy's name? I don't know.
Jebediah Stane.
Jebediah Stane, right?
Ironmonger.
Like it looked sick. Like they're fighting in buildings. Buildings are collapsing. Like there's color. It looks so good. And then now you're just like, now I got to watch like a bad Captain America with a bad suit fly around, and
not a bad Captain America though.
Good. Not a bad Captain America. A poorly written Captain America. Let me say that. He's knocking on the F-18s. He's like, oh, don't do this. I don't know.
I don't know. I really like this fight scene. Let us know. Just clickbait. Let us know if you liked the action in this or not. I'm interested to see if I'm in the minority or not. But yeah, please let us know, because I think that's one of the shining lights in this movie, is that the action is actually really good. So after this, they obviously stop it. They're getting their praise. This is kind of where you get the reveal that Ross he has heart failure, which in Civil War he mentions like he had a heart attack as well. So it's not like uncanonical. But then Torres almost dies. Then after that, you get the Bucky cameo. Sorry, back to Ross, the heart problems. That's why he's taking the pills. He thinks they're helping him. And the gamma pills. But then, yeah, Torres almost dies. You get the Bucky cameo of them looking over. And again, you get the same exact thing you had in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier show of, should I have taken the super serum? No, whatever. Bucky also congressman. Bucky has murdered many people in his day. Crazy.
Twitter
Mind
was
control
hilarious, dude.
The hilarious, if you ever see hilarious like clip. I forget her name. Neb, I think it's Neb, who posts a lot of GIFs on like comic GIFs on Twitter. She posted a Bucky getting kicked or Bucky kicking someone into the wings of a Quinjet during Winter Soldier. And yeah, Congressman, by the way, which is just hilarious. But yeah, you get that small clip, whatever. So then Samuel Stearns is the leader. He kills the military person that is going to tell Wilson, hey, Thunderbolt Ross has gamma and is probably the Hulk or whatever. And then he basically turns himself in after that, saying like he's calculated it. This is the only way that he's going to get Thunderbolt Ross to get mad and become the Red Hulk, because he's going to reveal that, hey, Thunderbolt Ross has been using him as like a pet in a cage kind of thing. Yeah, so then that happens. Thunderbolt Ross is having a press conference. It gets revealed that he was using Stearns to help him win the campaign, a villain and stuff. And then he becomes the Red Hulk. You have a fight and the cherry blossoms. CGI looks bad, but I think the fight again is cool. Again, I just really like how they use like the shield and the wings as this interacting team almost to like cover Sam Wilson, because he doesn't have the super soldier serum. So I think it's neat how they did that, and you give him the ability to punch back at a bigger opponent because the energy transfer that vibranium has. So I like it. But it just, the background green screen looks really bad. And I saw also that apparently it's practical. How did they make it look that bad? Doesn't really make sense.
Thing.
Throughout the movie, Ross just mentions these damn cherry blossoms, and it just looks so bad. And he keeps mentioning this treaty, that specific line. If this treaty fails, this treaty needs to work. If I hear it again, I'll end it all. And then so they have their fight. Ross turns back to normal, and this is a very awful thing to make fun of, but just don't do Harrison Ford shirtless.
It's a very old man.
It's a very old man.
There's no nice way to put it.
Yeah, unfortunately. How old is Harrison Ford? He's got to be
high 84.
High up 80s is my guess.
84.
He's only 82. All right. Good for him. But yeah, just it's an 82-year-old shirtless man, unfortunately. And just don't do that. But just do him changing back, and they do his like shadow going down because they probably don't have the budget to see him dehumanizing or de-hulkanizing. I
was hoping you were going to bring that up. Like they always did show Hulk like de-hulking, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No sun's getting real low here. Nothing like that. Just kind of.
He's just
unfortunate. Oh, he's mad and then he's not. They get Isaiah Bradley exonerated. Wilson. So they do mention like Sam Wilson, should he start the Avengers? He invites Joaquin Torres to the Avengers at the end. So that's kind of what's going to start Avengers Secret Wars, I'm sure. But that movie comes out in a year, and we don't have a team, which is just crazy.
Not come out in a year.
The Adamantium Treaty is ratified. It's like the Ross something treaty. I can't remember the name of it. Whatever. They are on the raft. He's locked up in the raft because he's the Hulk. I don't know if we'll ever get him back. And then you get the Betty cameo, which just such a useless cameo. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to Liv Tyler, but I tweeted like that picture of dude wants Five Guys, but ain't got Five Guys money. They wanted Chris Evans cameo, but ain't got Chris Evans money. Liv Tyler, it is, bro. And then the post-credit scene is Samuel Stearns at the raft talking about other worlds. They're starting a war worlds or a secret. It's a war worlds or a battle worlds post-credit scene. Sorry, but it's for like secret world or secret wars. And we've been doing multiverse for 4 or 5 years at this point. Stop teasing multiverse. And I think that's the biggest thing that everyone hates. Of like, this is useless. I understand Sam Wilson might not know about multiverse, but we as an audience do. So stop treating us like idiots. Yeah, it's a really bad post-credit scene. That's the majority of it.
I saw a funny tweet that basically someone tweeted like, what movie did they reference? They were basically like, imagine at the end of the like Marvel's The Avengers, like 2012, someone just comes on screen and goes, oh, by the way, I think Thanos is coming. Like, I don't know why I think that. I just think he's going to be here sooner or later. Mm-hmm. And like, that was the equivalent of the end of Brave New World, where it's like, oh,
that's very fair. It's not Doom. Like, I don't think Age of Ultron was the fine, I'll do it myself.
Yeah, that was Age of Ultron.
Yeah, this is like, you're exactly right. This is like if someone was like, hey, I think Thanos is going to do it himself.
Yeah.
Like just show me like Dr. Doom or something. I don't know. I don't want to see Dr. Doom.
Don't just like we know he's coming. Don't just tell me. Show me something. Like give me literally anything.
I agree. Okay, that's Captain America: Brave New World. Let us know your thoughts and your scores down in the comments. Let us know if like you loved this movie or not. And what you thought. Let us know your favorite moment, maybe as well, and if you thought the action.
Can I don't mean to like call someone out. I won't say their name. Can I read the funniest comment on my Letterboxd post?
Yeah, sure.
Where is it? Someone goes, okay, so this person initially writes, everyone a dialogue expert or CGI expert nowadays. So then someone replied with, pretty easy to tell when dialogue isn't good. And then that initial guy responded with, I've never paid that much attention to what people say in movies. I just watch the movies. LOL.
Hell yeah. Real. That's real movie watching.
The most insane thing I've ever read.
That's awesome. That's a hilarious comment. I agree, man. Don't listen to movies. Just watch. Watch visual medium. All right. Yeah. Moving on. So again, a 1.5 from Tyler and George, 43 out of 100 for myself, 2 out of 5 stars for Captain America: Brave New World. Let us know what you think. Moving on to The Gorge, new Scott Derrickson movie starring Miles Teller and Anya Taylor-Joy. The world's most dangerous secret lies between them. 2 highly trained operatives grow close from a distance after being sent to guard opposite sides of a mysterious gorge. When an evil blow emerges, they must work together to survive what lies within. Also a bad movie. Also a stupid movie. I gave it a 40 out of 100, a little lower than Captain America. And the reason for that is Captain America MCU gets a slight bump from me, as always. But I do not like this movie. A 2 out of 5 stars. Miles Teller and Anya Taylor-Joy are definitely in the movie. Perfectly present and actors for sure. Sigourney Weaver.
Also in the movie.
I think she has a gun to her head during this movie. Like, say the damn line. But yeah, the rest of the people, this cast is like 5 people deep. Not a very good movie in any way. I don't know. Stupid movie. Tyler, give your better thoughts than mine.
Yeah, I just actually bumped it down to 2.5 because I don't know. I was between that the whole night, between a 3 and a 2.5, but gave it the benefit of the doubt.
If you guys suck Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, I'll freak out.
Oh, are they the score in this?
Yeah, good score.
It's not a good score. It's just a totally.
I don't remember the score at all, but
it's just like mostly atmospheric. There's not really much like actual score elements going on, but I thought it was fine for what it was.
It was fine.
Thought the movie looked fine. I saw this on Twitter, which is so true. Like the first hour of this movie is literally the Taylor Swift.
It's
what is You Belong With Me? Video. Is that the one?
I think it's We're Never Getting Back Together, or is it?
No,
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely not We're Never Getting Back Together, but I think it's You Belong With Me. But holding up the signs from across the way, communicating with each other. Because basically you have Miles Teller and Anya Taylor-Joy, both snipers who are hired by their respective nations to protect this gorge, or each on opposite sides. And they're told that, you're not allowed to interact with each other. You're here for one mission. You're here for a year. First 5 minutes of the movie, Miles Teller, when he's getting put in his side of the gorge, the guy who he's backfilling gets shot and killed by whoever's picking him up. So again, there's like first 5 minutes of the movie. So it really shows you like, okay, whatever they're doing is clearly secretive here.
Yeah.
No one's supposed to know about it. And they take it very seriously. But yeah, the whole then first hour of this movie is just them communicating with little whiteboards across the way from each other, chatting, trying to get to know each other.
It's so
we
cute.
find out. No, like that's the thing is the movie never really knew what it wanted to be, because I feel like if it would have just wanted to be a whole movie about these two people isolated, alone for a year, set to do a secretive task, they have no clue what it is, but they're just doing it because that's their only option, and they find solace in that with each other, could have been cool. If they wanted it to be what it ended up being, like this big action adventure, escape, shoot 'em up, heart pulsing, thrilling, horror type movie, sci-fi, they wanted that, then that could have been cool too. But this movie just kind of was a tale of two halves, and none of it really worked well. It just kind of felt like they threw a bunch of ideas at the screen and got it all to make this movie, which was overly long. It was over 2 hours long. Way again, because I think they just needed to figure out, are they sticking with these isolationist characters trying to grapple with doing this very lonely task, but finding solace in each other? Or do they want to make this like this literally Stranger Things-esque movie? So they didn't know what it wanted to be. I thought the thing is, the reason I probably gave it a 3, bumped down to 2.5 now, is I love Miles Teller. I love Anya Taylor-Joy. I love Sigourney Weaver. Are they doing their best stuff in this? No, probably some of their worst stuff in this, but I love all 3 of them, and they're basically the only 3 in the movie. Really, it's only 2 of them in the movie. Sigourney Weaver's in it here and there, but so I love them so much that it's going to give me a little bump. Like Cam gave the MCU bump. It's like, I love these people on my screen. Going to give them a little bump. I thought there were some moments that I thought were so awesome. Some of the creature designs when they get down in the gorge, I thought were unreal. Kind of remind me like the Green Knight-esque. Like there's some awesome creatures down there. But then also a lot of it just looks like literal Stranger Things, and it starts to look like a streaming movie at some points. So it's just a weird mixed bag of a movie which is a derogatory term.
No doubt.
And I just feel like this is such a mixed bag where some stuff I thought, man, this is awesome, I'm loving this, immediately followed by something like, this is stupid, blended up, rehashed stuff from other movies. So I kind of end on, I guess, a 2.5 now. I thought the meet cute was fun. I like
that sigh just describes this double feature we're talking about right
because I did have a lot of fun with that first hour where I was like, oh, they're like this cute, they're like talking to each other, trying to like end a meeting, and then he like zip lines over and fun, cute, and then and whatever. I'll save my final like 2 thoughts for spoilers.
George, initial thoughts.
Spoilers for this movie?
We'll do spoilers.
I mean, same thing Tyler said. It's a really mixed bag. I found myself entertained in moments. I found myself rolling my eyes and like really hoping this movie would end in other moments. I love, and I'm going to start with like this one like really random positive that I have. I love when a movie introduces characters and tells you that they're really fucking good at something. And then for the rest of the movie, I was like, oh, I can't wait to see it in action. Like they made it very clear.
Never snipes anything. Is that what you're going to say?
No. Well, part of it. Yeah. But like they made it very clear, like Miles Teller and Anya Taylor-Joy, Levi and Drasha, like they're good at what they do. Like they are trained snipers. They even have a conversation being like, oh, what's your longest kill? And they're like 3,800 meters or something.
She's like, holy shit, that would make you top 5.
Yeah. He's like,
so many of the dialogue moments, you could tell the writer thought he was like writing with like the pen like on fire. Because like there's the one where Sigourney Weaver's like, how many kills do you have or whatever, and she says a number, and then he's like, is the actual number higher or lower than this? He's like, higher. And I'm like, God, this is so cool.
But like it's like, I don't know, I find it cool because I'm like, now because like the rest of the movie, I'm like, I can't wait to see this in action. And then Miles Teller snipes like 2 things in this movie, and they're not even people. They're like the big machines at the end. All we see them do is like with the gun. So I'm like, okay, it went from being they're sick at snipers to they're just knockoff John Wicks. And I thought that was fucking hilarious.
Well, like they hire them as snipers. So like, oh, they're perfectly trained snipers. And anytime shit hit the fan, like, fuck, we need the minigun.
0 snipers.
It's like, what's the point of the sniping?
Minigun them. That's awesome.
The first time the Hollow Men come out of the gorge, and Anya Taylor-Joy, again, I'm going to start with the positive. She like sits on that fucking cannon. I was like, dude, this is kind of sick. Like that's what I texted you guys. Like there were moments in this movie where I was like, damn, like I wish this had a theatrical release. Cause like some scenes they would like that scene in particular was like this really wide shot. And all you just see is the fucking bullets traveling across the gorge. And
mind you, no scoping them too. Like doesn't have a scope, just shooting at wall.
Shooting across the wall, somehow sniping every single one of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this movie is like really corny. It's really stupid, but like I gotta say, like my 2.5 is like a positive 2.5. Like I had like a weirdly entertaining time with it where I was like, this is so corny and so stupid. Like I'm actually like laughing like with this movie, not at this movie. Like every time they held up a sign and it was perfect handwriting, I chuckled. I was like, there's no way their handwriting is that fucking perfect. Like that's clearly typed out. Like they did not just write that down. And then I said this in my Letterboxd review. I really do wish we spent more time in the gorge. It gave me like Walmart, like Dead Man's Chest vibes, like Davy Jones and his crew. And I really like that. But we just weren't in the gorge long enough. Like I cared more.
Every time they say the gorge.
Yeah, literally. They said it a lot, dude. But like I know a lot of people are like, oh, I wish this kind of just sat as like this romantic movie. I say the opposite. I wish there was no romance. I wish they were literally just two people that accidentally fell in the gorge together and they had to battle their way out. Like I was more entertained with like the gorge stuff. I like the corny romance. It was fun. Like it was cute when like he shot a missile across and made the zip line and then held up a sign like dinner tonight. I'm like, all right, some shit's going to happen while he's going across the zip line. It's a very predictable movie. But yeah, I don't know. I can't lie. I was entertained. I really was. I was watching this. Maybe it's because I was watching it after Brave New World. So my I had just watched shit and I was like, it can't get worse than this. But yeah, I was like, this is like, it's fine. It's a super fine movie. Like these two, like Anya and Miles, like they're clearly just getting their bag. Scott Derrickson, like he has enough sauce. Like I really like Sinister, of course. I really like The Black Phone. Even the first Doctor Strange movie, like he's got enough like experience to like elevate a bad screenplay. And that's what I think about like everything that happens in the gorge. Like this whole movie is just exposition dumping. But luckily like Scott Derrickson can direct the scene decently well to like keep you like kind of entertained. Like it was cool. Like when they like attached the rope to the car and it was going back up the gorge, I was like, this is cool. Like they're shooting down. But yeah, it's such a nothing movie that I'll probably forget about in like 3 days. But for what it was,
this is gonna get lost in the Matrix. I'm sure of it. Like, this will get lost in the year.
Yeah, so such a wildly obvious streaming movie, and like Tyler said, that is a derogatory term on this podcast.
What if Furiosa was sentenced to the Night Watch? Is this
real?
What? So you know what? Someone described this movie, and I read a Letterboxd review. What did they say? They said this movie was like if 28 Days Later meets Annihilation. And I was like, that's how you should have marketed this movie. The marketing on this movie sucked. The posters on this movie also suck. It really bothers me. It wasn't until this movie did I realize how much a bad poster would piss me off. But yeah, like they should have marketed this movie more as like that Annihilation meets 28 Days Later. Like, because it kind of is, they're going into this unknown land. They're fighting these like infected persons. But I don't know. It never carried like obviously that much intrigue. But I was entertained for what it was. It was like cute and stupid and corny, and the action was fine. The gorge was cool. Yeah, I don't know.
This is a George and Tyler agree pod, and Cam's a little different. So 2.5 for both Tyler and George. I gave it a 40 out of 100. Or
you give it a 2 star. It's not like you're giving it a half.
No, I just meant like the scores, like for Captain America, y'all were both the same, and I was a little different. That's all I meant. Okay, spoilers, I guess. These two private contractors are put in across the gorge, and they're just basically there, like, do not contact each other, kill what's in the gorge, move on with your day. They get bored of that about 6 months in. Miles Teller shoots a rope across. They have a little cute date. They talk, dialogue's poor, and then he tries to go back and falls into the gorge. And then, she jumps in the gorge, and then they're both in the gorge. And how many times can I say the gorge?
I'm going to be honest. If I were Anya Taylor-Joy in that situation, I'm not jumping in the gorge.
Nope.
Yeah, there's no chance.
I've seen what's coming out of this thing. Dead people? Nope.
Negative chance I go into that gorge to follow someone I literally just spoke to for the first time in person.
Yeah.
And then they said, I love you. That was funny. I thought that was funny.
Crazy,
that was hilarious.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're all alone for 6 months, maybe.
Yeah, I guess.
And then in the gorge, they find out, which, by the way, most obvious thing, in my opinion, was that it's a research facility for some evil company. So clear. So they find that out. At one point, they fight the little... Men. The scorpion. No, but at one point they have a battle with like the spider people from Toy Story. Remember when they put a head on the spider thing? They had those in this thing. They fight the Hollow Men. They figure out that it's a research facility to study these things.
They're trying to make,
and that's like the big reveal, but that was like the most obvious reveal ever.
Yeah.
They get out of the gorge. They escape, and then they don't meet each other for a long while, and then they have a Dark Knight Rises ending.
Yep.
Where they see each other in a diner or something, a local restaurant. Did I miss anything? Like, is there any spoilers you all care to talk?
The tree guy was cool.
It's got some fun action.
Tree guy was cool.
It's got some fun action here and there.
As they were fighting Tree Guy, I was like, damn, man, if they had fire, it's game over. And then fire just appeared out of nowhere. And I was like, that's very convenient. But no, this movie is the most like Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. Yeah. It's so clearly it literally felt like a 3-episode miniseries. It's what it kind of felt like. Just jumbled together into a 2-hour feature film. But
Apple TV has really fallen from grace ever since they won
Apple
for Coda.
TV struggling.
They've been screwed.
Yep, they're struggling. Streaming movie shows. Feels like it. I bet it's the most watched like Apple release ever according to their metrics. But my good actors just doing nothing, in my opinion.
My friends group chat, they never watch movies. One of them wrote the longest paragraph ever about how much he hated Captain America: Brave New World, and then a different friend of mine who never watched the movies, he said the gorge is surprisingly fun. So.
Sure. There we go.
The normies. If you want the normies' opinion, there you go.
I mean, listen, there you go. It was fun. It was fun. But like fun could be a 5-star movie, or fun could be like a half-star movie.
Yeah, that's very fair. That's very fair. Mm-hmm. I think this and Captain America were equal amounts fun, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Therefore, this was equal amounts score. Okay, that's fair. Let us know your score on The Gorge. Sorry that wasn't a long review, but it's I don't know. It's a laid out movie.
It's The Gorge, bro.
Yeah, it's The Gorge. Let us know your thoughts. Again, a 2.5 from Tyler, a 2.5 from George, a 2 from me, or a 40 out of 100. Let us know if there's any like major thing that we missed in it, but I'd be shocked if there was. Anya Taylor-Joy and Miles Teller have about as much chemistry as me and George. So it's fine. Moving on to trailers and movie news. We got good chemistry.
We got great chemistry. What are you talking about?
We got, that was a compliment to them. So big trailer this week was the new Thunderbolts trailer. Reveals Lewis Pullman's Sentry character as well as Lewis Pullman's The Void character. But looks good. Tyler texted, like he's saying this looks good. So I'll let you talk it real quick.
I don't know, the snapping people into PNGs on the pavement. That's cool, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, I think this has potential.
Got me moving.
I think this has potential. I think mostly it has potential because Sebastian Stan is interesting because he is a fantastic actor that I feel like kind of started with Marvel almost. Yeah. Like, what was Sebastian Stan in prior to the Winter Soldier, or not the Winter Soldier, the first Avenger?
Wasn't he in like Gossip? I might be wrong. was gonna say Gossip.
He might be in something like that, but he's a fantastic actor that like started here, and I feel like he's just got like a death contract with them that like he cannot leave, otherwise they'll take his like powers or something. They'll take his acting abilities. Whereas most like Marvel actors, I feel like
Gossip Girl.
What's up?
Gossip
Girl. Nice. Most Marvel actors like get big and then join Marvel to get their bag, like Florence Pugh, David Harbour here. Wyatt Russell again. Wyatt Russell's kind of no name, but I feel like when they're headlining a movie, they try to grab big actors nowadays. But they always do well with their casting. I'm excited for this. It was supposed to be Steven Yeun, but now it is Lewis Pullman who's playing the Sentry. The Sentry is basically a character who's like way overpowered, but he also has like he's got dual personality syndrome basically. So either the Sentry is a good guy, and then he's got like an entity in him called the Void. That's a bad guy. And so basically, I think the idea of this movie is that Val will be trying to control the Void and then make her new Avengers or Thunderbolts, as they say. They can't call themselves this. I think the title will change by the end of this movie, kind of like a Captain America and the Winter Soldier thing that they did in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I think that's what the asterisk is for, because they say they can't call themselves the Thunderbolts. I think it'll be like the Dark Avengers or something.
The Avengers. Just the Avengers.
That'd be awesome. That'd be hilarious.
It's
so funny.
Go.
You go first.
I was gonna say I love the clip in the trailer where they're all like in a room together, and Florence Pugh's like, "So we all just punch and kick? That's it?" Like,
yeah. I mean, it's true. Like the super viral tweet like of Lewis Pullman just disintegrating people, putting them into the floor, and someone replied to it. It was like a quote is like, "Bucky, go punch that guy." It's just very funny. I'm sure they're very clearly going to beat him because he's a dual personality, and they're going to appeal to like his Sentry side or somehow. I'm 100% confident in that they will talk him down. It's also a Marvel
movie, so like, there's no doubt in my mind that we're going to have some OP cameo come help out the Thunderbolts at some point in this movie.
I disagree with that. I don't think we're going to get an OP cameo. I think they're going to talk him down as if he was like the Hulk. Like they're going to talk him down to the Sentry. Though. I'm 100% confident in that, George. All right. We can let us know if you think George or I are correct on that one.
When does this movie come out? I feel like we've been seeing
May 2nd. May 2nd.
Oh, okay. It's not bad.
Yeah. So coming up soon. I'm excited for it. I'm
excited.
I don't know. I tweeted that Fantastic Four will be great, and a clip of Captain America in the Endgame saying, because I don't know what I'll do if it isn't. My prediction is that Thunderbolts will be great, because I don't know what I'm going to do with myself if it isn't or if it doesn't.
Or if it isn't, then you have Fantastic Four.
Yeah, then I have Fantastic Four, I guess. And if that's not great, I'm never watching.
Then you have Secret Avengers.
If I give both Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four a lower than a 2.5, so not a 2.5, but lower than a 2.5, both of them, I will never watch a Marvel movie, project, or show again.
Wow.
If they're both less than a 2.5,
I want you to know that no one listening to this podcast believes that.
2.5. If they're both lower than a 2.5. First trailer for Friendship came out this week. A new A24 movie starring Paul Rudd and Tim Robinson. Looks funny, and I've seen good reviews. Yeah. I don't know. First trailer for The Accountant 2 has released. Releasing April 25th. I have not seen The Accountant 1, but
you haven't either, George?
No.
The Accountant 1's good.
I'm kind of excited for this.
It's on Max. I would recommend it. It's like I think I give it like 3.5, but you both would like it for sure.
Okay, we'll take that.
I'll watch it. It's Ben Affleck, right?
Yeah, Ben Affleck, Anna Kendrick. What's his name?
Anna Kendrick sells me.
His face is the dude from Sicario, the guy John Bernthal.
John Bernthal. Well. Oh, I knew he was in the second. I didn't know he was in the first. But yeah, shout out John Bernthal, the best. New teaser for live action Snow White remake in theaters March 21st. I think this.
Not only does it look ass, but like
I think it's
again.
Really bad.
I don't keep my pulse on like true kids movies. But I feel like for a movie coming out in a month from now, I would expect to see more for a Snow White live action. Yeah. Like I feel like Little Mermaid. I feel like I got a lot saw a lot of stuff for it, but I feel like maybe I'm just not. I watch a lot of TV with sports. I'm seeing no Snow White stuff, and it's Disney's, and I watch a lot of ESPN. So you think they'd like shoehorn Disney ads on the ESPN? I'm seeing no Snow White stuff. So somebody's probably gonna sink.
I think this is like a fine, like I approve of the remake almost of like the Snow White, the Cinderella, not necessarily Rapunzel, but like because you have Tangled, but like just the OG like Disney princesses. Yeah, why not do a remake of them now? Because it's been 60 years.
Yeah.
Not How to Train Your Dragon, which isn't Disney, but How to Train Your Dragon, which came out in like 2014. So yeah. New trailer for live action Until Dawn movie releasing April 25th. I have not seen. I
put that in there for Seth because I thought it was a video game, so I was wondering if he plays video game or not.
I have not seen that trailer.
Other than that,
I don't
do
know
not know.
Wes Anderson's next movie, The Phoenician Scheme, is expected to be a dark espionage film. Releases June 6th, starring Michael Cera, Benicio del Toro, Tom Hanks, Bryan Cranston, Riz Ahmed, Jeffrey Wright, Scarlett Johansson, Rupert Friend, Benedict Cumberbatch. It's a Wes Anderson cast. He's got his hits that he likes, and then he'll bring back a couple, or he'll get a couple new people in there. But I'm excited for this. I know Tyler's a big Wes Anderson head, a Wes head. So I expect you're excited.
Yeah.
No trailer or anything, just kind of announced like that it'll be dark espionage film, which is different from what Wes Anderson has done. So that's exciting. Got a new trailer for How to Train Your Dragon live action remake in theaters June 13th. I don't know. I like How to Train Your Dragon. I haven't
seen the animated movies, so
what am I supposed to say about this? It's the exact same, but I like the How to Train Your Dragon animated movies. So
I'm excited.
The score will hit. That score cannot fail.
Sure.
They nailed it.
But it's the same thing.
It's the same thing, but it always hits. Always hits.
Don't let film Twitter infect your mind, bro. Why do we need this? Don't let them infect your mind.
To be fair, I haven't even seen the animators. Maybe I should really just lean into my
maybe just
this is my only exposure.
I think these movies are made for you, though, Tyler. Like people like you, of like you don't like animated as much, so like they're genuinely made for like people like that.
They're made for
you people. But yeah, it's I don't know. The score will hit. That's all I'll say.
Dude, it's live action dragons.
Yeah.
Sick.
I'm in for it. It's live action gray dragons.
Like I'm there.
I'm in for it. Honora is cooking with gas. Has won Best Picture at the PGA, DGA, WGA, and Critics' Choice Awards. Got to be a lock for the Oscars, I assume.
Yeah. In about 3 hours from now, the BAFTAs happen. So if it wins there, then it's like a super lock. And then the SAG Awards is the final one. But it's basically already a lock. I saw also, shout out to Sean Fennessy at the Big Picture. He tweeted out saying, the only movie to ever win at the PGA, DGA, and WGA, but lose Best Picture was Brokeback Mountain. So it only happened once.
Yeah. Kind of came out of nowhere after being shut out of the Golden Globes, but
yeah. And then it won one award at Critics' Choice. We were last week on the pod, we were like, oh, maybe maybe they just like shoehorned it in because like Mila Perez is supposed to win, and they just like switched the envelopes because they didn't want to give it to him. But no, it's clearly Honora's
Best
like
Picture and Best Director favorite.
Yeah, Honora is that girl.
R.I.P. Maybe the Academy is taking all this like AI talk into like consideration. Maybe they really don't want to set that precedent. But
also a big thing, WGA, like Brutus wasn't even nominated because there's not to be in the WGA awards. You have to have a WGA member write your film or be sanctioned by the Writers Guild of America, and it wasn't. So I mean, Oscar's obviously a big like. We support ours and hate others. So it's like, I feel like since they don't have a WGA writer, they probably like no writer in the Academy is going to vote for the Brutalist because they're going to want to vote for someone who's in the WGA, like Sean Baker and Honora. But Sean Baker has a chance to break the record for most Oscar wins by a single person in one night with 4. He's nominated for 4. The record right now is 3. He's nominated for because he edited the movie. He produced it. So obviously Best Picture, director, and then he wrote the movie. So could get 4 Oscars in one night.
Wait,
look at this. Look at this. You get some great Oscar knowledge from Tyler. You get some great MCU knowledge. We're an all-around pod.
Didn't Bong Joon-ho win 4 Oscars? Because he won International Feature, Screenplay, Directing, and Picture. Unless he's not a credited producer.
No, you could be right.
Probably not accredited producer.
Yeah, he might not be accredited producer.
But he gave the speech. Does that mean anything?
He gave part of the Best Picture speech. So, that old lady gave the speech.
So
I always just think he gave it because
one quote. So the thing is, I think I think you're right, but I don't think international film just goes to like South Korea. Like I don't think
doesn't go to Bong Joon-ho.
So I would say when people glaze Sean Baker, I'm going to say actually Bong Joon-ho won, and I don't care about the technicality.
He did produce.
Yeah, so it's just South Korea won the award.
Yeah, that's whack. Okay. The next Ridley Scott picture, The Dog Star, stars Jacob Elordi, Margaret Qualley, Josh Brolin, and Guy Pearce. It's described as a post-apocalyptic thriller, follows a pilot living with a dog and an ex-Marine, set in the near future where an unnamed pandemic has declared Jesus, I can't speak. Decimated society. COVID. If they make this COVID, I'd laugh. That'd be very funny.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, I'm in for more Ridley Scott, even though I don't know if he's cooking anymore, but I'm in for
he's cooking with a cast.
Still haven't seen Napoleon.
Neither have I.
That's fine.
Still haven't watched that.
Yeah.
I thought you said Gladiator 2 for some reason. I'd be like,
Gladiator 2. I was about to ask, what was the last Ridley Scott picture I saw? It was Gladiator 2.
Yeah.
Before that, was it
Last Duel, maybe?
Last Duel or House of Gucci? Yeah, I guess one of those two.
He's fine. I mean, I like Ridley Scott. I'm excited for it. I think that cast is no misses. Jacob Elordi, Josh Brolin, Margaret Qualley, Guy Pearce.
Yeah.
Don't love the pandemic idea, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'll watch it, of course. Mia Goth has been cast in Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. Just kind of keeps adding to that cast. Shout out Mia Goth. Deserves it.
Did you see the bit of news, the rumor that was like apparently rumors are it's for a non-speaking role, so she's either going to be like a statue or a siren.
Yeah.
Siren would make sense, but a statue would be so jokes. That would just be the power of Christopher Nolan with these super casts where every movie just gets bigger and better. Where he's like, I'm just going to get big name actors to just be a statue.
It's going to be like a middle school play where someone just plays the tree in the background.
Yeah,
it's the latest statue.
The Cyclops scenes in Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey will reportedly be filmed at Nestor's Cave in Greece with a 6x6 mechanical help me out here, Tyler. Hit me with the word.
Anthropomorphic. Five Nights at Freddy's puppet.
Built inside the cave. Hell yeah.
George,
if I can't say the word, it's legit.
Yeah, if this is where my Christopher Nolan bias might come in. If any other filmmaker were making this movie and they said they were using a 6-foot puppet for the Cyclops, I'd be like, that's a shitty decision. Don't do that. But it's Christopher Nolan, and he is the greatest of all time. So he'll figure out a way to make it look fucking sick. And then Greece is awesome.
Have you been in Nestor's Cave?
I have not, no.
No grease ball knowledge.
You just not have knowledge. Weak-minded.
Zero ball knowledge.
Yeah, weak.
Put that next bit of news in just for George.
Yeah, Francis Lawrence says Constantine 2 is closer than ever. Keanu Reeves is excited to return.
Can you guys please rewatch? Stop.
I haven't seen it.
Cam
rewatch. Tyler watched for the first time, dude. I think about this movie 4 times a day. It's
so very okay. It's
so unbelievably good. I
think I have it at like a 3, maybe a 3.
The whole final act where Lucifer pulls up and they just go bar for. Oh my god. Oh my.
Yeah, 3.
I'll watch it. Francis Lawrence. He's the guy who does all the Hunger Games movies, isn't he?
Correct.
Has he done anything else of note? Doesn't matter. Those are all bangers. So
yeah, the Hunger Games are cool.
Hunger Games are okay.
He's done Constantine, if that counts, if what we're talking about. But,
well, he certainly did Constantine. It's his best movie ever. It's one of the best movies ever.
Catching Fire with like a word.
Catching Fire.
Oh, we did I Am Legend.
Hey,
sure.
He kind of makes good movies. Okay.
Dude, he makes this guy knows what he's doing, man. He makes bangers, bro. Oh my god.
Hell yeah. Woo, Constantine fans, you're up. We up, baby. A Connecticut lawmaker wants to introduce a bill to movie theaters that they have to disclose when trailers start and when movie time start.
Dude,
just get ball knowledge.
Stupid.
If you're listening to this, you better have that damn knowledge that it's 20 minutes. 24 minutes, I think, is the exact number. But
that's
just
a law
learn ball
if
for
you don't know it. Stupid adults. That's what that law is for. If you see that law and you're like, oh, this is great, you're stupid. That's what it means. It means you're dumb and you need to go back to school.
I agree. 100%.
I almost always get to theaters pretty early. Like I don't really cut it super close, but when I went to Nosferatu Christmas Day, there was no trailers at AMC, which was funny to see for me who got there early, so I was fine. But so many people, like it was like a full house show. Like it sold out Nosferatu opening day, probably half. So probably like I don't know would that be half the theater, like 80 people walked in like 15, 20 minutes into the movie because they're like, and the groans like was just hilarious because they walk in and be like, what the. It was always they were like in groups too, so it was probably like the guy taking the girl on the date was like the guy's probably like, we don't have to get there till 20 minutes in, and like just one person in the group would always be like, you could tell it would be like, what the fuck, man? Like I told you we should have been there.
Captain America: Brave New World. First time ever, not ever, but I went and saw it with some friends, which is crazy. Not a solo theater trip. They arrived when I was like, I'm on my way, just leaving my. So at that point, though, if you're going to see it with friends, I don't recommend that because then like I didn't really talk to them at all. I just watched the movie, left. That's it. So what's the point in going with friends? So that's on me. But yeah, that about wraps up our episode. As always, shout out our executive producers, Stefan Johnson, Devin Willett, Alex Kephart. Let us know what your favorite moment in both The Gorge and Captain America: Brave New World was, and let us know what your scores are. We appreciate all those that are listening. This week we'll draft the best movies that were just okay. So basically 2.8 to a 3.4 letterbox score. So go watch that. That's our Thursday draft. Patreon review this week will be Blue Velvet. We appreciate all the support. As always, go subscribe to the YouTube, rate us 5 stars on Spotify, Apple. Go follow us on TikTok, Instagram, on Twitter. Leave a comment, like this video if you're enjoying it. And special shout out to Magic Mind. As I mentioned at the start of the episode, you can go to Magic Mind website. They have a limited time offer that you can use to get 48% off your first subscription or 20% off a one-time purchase. If you use code ReelTok at checkout, you can go to magicmind.com/ReelTok, ReelTok. Go there, support us. We would really appreciate it. Thank you all who have listened. Thank you, fellas. Have a wonderful week.
Peace.